Hey, we are live. What's up, everyone? Thank you all for being here. We have lots of people already here, man. You guys are in. What's up? That's cool. I'm glad to have everyone here. Feels great. Welcome to the Demon Appreciation Podcast, episode 9. We did episode 8 yesterday. What's going on? I'm sure that everyone here is already aware of what's going on because tonight we have some amazing topics. And I have a guest with me at the moment. We have another guest that's gonna hop on later, but at the moment I do have my friend King Narukami. How are you doing, sir?
How you doing, David? I'm glad to be on here again.
Hell yeah, should be a lot of fun. I'm doing great. Thank you for being here, man. And actually, credits to you, my friend, because the reason why you're listening to this podcast is because of him. He had the idea, hey, why not do a podcast? And I was like, let's go. Why not? Sounds great. Let's do it.
You asked me, do you want to do it on your stream or do you want to do it on my stream? I'm like, bro, I don't even have a PC, so let's just do it on yours. Let's just make a bonus episode. Let's do it.
Hell yeah, why not? Why not? Should be a lot of fun. I'm sure that you guys are aware, but I'm going to go ahead and say it right away. We are here tonight to talk about what happened yesterday. You might have heard of the news. I'm pretty sure if you're here right now, you know what happened. Persona 5 Strikers leaked in advance. It was planned for the Game Awards next week, but they announced it in advance. So that's the reason we're here. So it should be really cool. There's also another news that we got recently. I didn't make a video on the news, and some of you guys were asking me to do it to hear my thoughts, and I have something better. We're doing a podcast talking about it. The 25th anniversary of the Persona series. We've heard from the series producer that we can expect big things, and we can expect lots of cool things as well next year for the anniversary, so it should be really fun. So we're gonna go all in and predict what is likely to happen and random stuff, basically. So it should be extremely fun.
I think we're gonna come up with a bunch of crazy stuff.
Oh yeah.
Too, so I'm all for that, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. Okay, now the way that I want to do this podcast, like as you can see, we're 2 on the show at the moment. First of all, I need to tell you all that we lost a member in the process. Like, Kuro's not going to be with us tonight, unfortunately. You can be certain that he's going to hop on in the future at some point, but he has personal reasons for tonight. He's not able to make it, but I'm sure that he would have liked to be here, and I say hello to all of you guys from him. So unfortunately, he's not going to be here, and Rikku is still going to hop on stream. He's Central Time, and he's not able to make it at the start of the show, but he should be here in like 30 minutes to an hour maximum. And we might have someone who might hop on in the middle of the stream, but that's not certain yet, so I'm not going to say a name or anything. But big thank you to everyone who's here.
We gotta be quiet about that one.
Oh yeah, we gotta be quiet, just in case. The first thing that I want to ask you, man, because I think that's a great way to introduce this podcast. I wanna ask, when and how did you learn about the announcement for Persona 5 Strikers? English release, for sure. Let's hear it.
So here I am laying in my bed. It's like 12:30 in the morning and everything. I'm trying to get ready for work, and I hear my phone go off. It's just vibrating, and so I just look over, and a bunch of people tag me and stuff. I'm like, what the hell is going on here? And all I saw was a picture that said Persona 5 Strikers, February 23rd. Wario64 tweeted it. And so here I am. I'm about to scream. I have roommates, so I can't scream. I literally had to close my mouth shut. So I hop on, and I just see like the internet exploding, man. It's just absolutely exploding. And then I couldn't get back to sleep till like 4 in the morning. I had to take melatonin to get back to sleep so I could go to work.
Yeah, for sure. That was exciting. You see, my story is actually very similar, but the first thing that I saw in the morning is your tweet, your very calm tweet. This man came, he just sent me a message, all caps. It was like, dude, wake the fuck up. You gotta see what's going on. That's the first thing that I saw. And after seeing this, I had, again, just like you, lots of messages and lots of notifications. I was like, what the hell is going on? Don't tell me. First thing that came to mind was like SMT 5, because, you know, my brain is 99% SMT 5 at the moment. But no, scrambles. Oh, Persona 5 Strikers finally announced. Wow. What a time to be alive. I was not expecting that today. Definitely not. Well, we can't expect strikers anymore. Like, with all of what happened in the past, like, come on. I don't want to predict. Yesterday, I think you were here for a part of my podcast yesterday. I was like, I don't want to predict anything in regards to Scramble anymore. And I don't think anyone can blame me for that, because we were expecting Scramble. You probably remember New Game Plus Expo, right?
Oh man, don't remind me of that. That was the most disappointing thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, this show was something. The thing is, we were probably 200% certain that we would get the Scramble announcement at this show. We were very, 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 very confident. It was the perfect show to announce it, but we saw Catherine gameplay only for 30 minutes, and yeah, that was
and not just Catherine gameplay. I think it had some spoilers in it as well for anyone who hadn't played Catherine before. So that was what was crazy to me. Like, not only did they show this game that's been re-released 2 times up to then, but they're showing people spoilers, and they're wanting to expose this new audience on Switch to this game. It's just mind-blowing to me. Like,
yep.
I wonder if that was a backup plan. I still wonder if that was a backup plan for, the coronavirus and them not being able to get Scramble done in a certain amount of time.
Yeah, I think that was, Atlas, they're so, like, before, that's, again, something that I said yesterday. I was like, I thought Nintendo was hard to predict. But man, Atlas, they're crazy at times. It's like, they're so hard to predict. And again, I know that yesterday we're going to talk about that as well. Yesterday was kind of a mistake. It was not supposed to be revealed tonight, but it was. And from everything that I learned online, when I woke up this morning, the first thing that I did after responding to all the messages that I got was like, I am trying to understand why. Why did they drop a trailer like this? Why is it not available anymore? And from what I could understand, the trailer was put in a playlist on the YouTube channel for Atlas West, reveal trailer for sure. It was unlisted, which means that if you have the link to the video, you can access it. And if you don't have the link, you can't access it. But when you put the video in a playlist, anyone can access it. So someone looked up the playlist for Atlas West, and they saw this video, and they watched it, shared it, of course, and they realized it this morning, and they took it off. I think that's what happened, and they actually just, I don't know if you saw it, I know that you were like eating dinner and stuff, but they just showed, they just tweeted something. I'm just gonna bring it up real quick because I don't remember precisely, but they said the Phantom Thieves are gonna show something like on the 8th or something. Well, how did they say? Yep. Do you remember exactly?
Hold on, I actually tweeted about it just a second ago. Let me look it up right quick because I'm still getting likes on it. Let's see here. It was something like the Phantom Thieves have compromised this account or something. All will be revealed on December 8th or something like that.
That's exactly what happened. Awesome.
Our communications have been intercepted by the Phantom Thieves. All will be revealed December 8th. So if you actually click on the website, I don't know if you clicked on the website or not, David.
I haven't.
Okay, so if you go to the link, and if you want to click on it, that's fine. It actually brings you to a website that shows the Persona 5 Strikers logo and everything at the bottom. It says Atlas, PS4, Nintendo Switch, Steam, everything.
Okay, gotcha. Hey, we got my man Peter Parker coming in with the $5 donation. Thank you so much. You are always coming in with the support, man, and I do appreciate it. He asks us a very interesting question that I want to have your take on it as well. He says, hopefully they will port Royal to PC soon. It feels weird that a sequel to the main game is on PC first. I'm just gonna put P5S in my wish list. Peter, there's one thing that I want to tell you. You're going into risky territory with this point, because you know what system is gonna get the sequel to P5 that doesn't have the original game as well? The freaking Switch. And we don't want the port beggars necessarily here, to be honest. But I'm gonna ask you, King, first of all, your thoughts on this matter. Royal on PC soon. The
Royal on PC, I think it's just a matter of exclusivity rights at this point. I mean, if you put Scramble or Strikers, I keep on getting that confused. It can't. I can't comprehend that in my mind for some reason. But if you put the second part of the game on there, I mean, sure, it might sell, but I think we can expect it at some point.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Just before I answer the question, we have my man already here, Katana Rikku. What's up, bro? Thank you for being here. You were able to make it sooner. That's cool. How are you doing?
Hey, what's up, guys? Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Nice. Today's a good day, huh?
Oh yeah, I can't complain.
Awesome. So tonight should be a lot of fun. I'm glad to have you on. Hey, I want to have your take on Peter's point. Were you able to hear the question, or did you hop on after, or what I was reading it?
Oh, I didn't hear the question.
Okay. Thoughts on Royal coming to PC soon? It says it feels weird to have the sequel to the main game not being on PC, but getting the sequel with Scramble, of course.
Oh yeah, I mean, it seems crazy, but I think that's good. I didn't expect Scramble to come to PC, so I think that is like the craziest thing out of all of them. So yeah, I don't think it's too crazy, really. I mean, now that we have Scramble on its way, so.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think there's like PC. I'm talking for PC, and I'm talking for PC and for Switch here. I think it's likely to happen at some point. There's been no official proof or written proofs, or no Atlas reps came out and like openly said that the game is only on PlayStation, that there's a deal with Sony. I don't think it happened at any point, so I'm expecting it. I think it's kind of crazy to skip P5, their best-selling game, to put it on PC and on the Switch. It's such a problem, and it's such a missed opportunity. The Switch is doing extremely well in Japan, and of course Persona is a Japanese game. And also, you saw the numbers for Golden on Steam? Like, bruh, they were surprised. Yeah, they were surprised. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Huh. No,
I think that this. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Rikku. Finish your thought, man.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, I think that Scramble is coming to PC simply because of how good Persona 4 did on Steam. Really, I think that was part of the reason why it's on PC.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't think it was planned beforehand, because like the Japanese version didn't get the Steam release, but we're getting it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's definitely something that they considered. And now we also know that Steam was in the code for Nocturne Remastered, and that's another thing that, hell, why is it not on? Oh my god, yeah, I didn't know that. Like, Peter just said Golden hit 1.5 million sales on Steam alone. I didn't know. So hey, I'm sure King, you probably know the answer, but I think like it outsold the Vita version now, because the Vita version I think was like at 1.3 million from the last time that we heard numbers.
Oh, yeah.
I think. Hey, it's crazy. It came out in
I'm glad
June.
that Spencer isn't on this podcast right now, because I'm about to slander the Vita a little bit. Even though the Vita is a great console, don't get me wrong, I love the Vita. I absolutely love my Vita. I use remote play all the time still. But let's be honest, PlayStation did not market it that well, and that kind of led to, if you got a Vita, you pretty much got Persona 4 Golden, but the Vita didn't sell that well in the first place. So of course the Steam port was going to outsell the Vita version. But here's the thing about it. The fact to me that it took Atlas like all this time to realize, hey, if we put our games on other consoles, they're going to sell and we're going to make money. Doesn't matter if it's new games, doesn't matter if it's old games. That's just mind-boggling to me that they even had to have guinea pigs. Like, but let's be honest, Persona 4 Golden shipped off to a different developer to port it over. Not developer, but a different company to port it over. It was a guinea pig.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's definitely like, whenever I hear Persona, well, before Golden, mainline Persona, was never released outside of PlayStation. That was before Golden. And that felt like such a missed opportunity to me. Like, I mean, those games are beloved. And even if there's not a ton of people that are necessarily playing the games, and I'm talking about mostly before P5, the people that were playing the games, they were all into the games. Like, they were extremely invested. And it's basically the same thing with us Megaton fans. Like, we're not everywhere, but whenever you find someone who loves Megaton, they're all in. Like, it's not their like top 15 series. It's like top 3 most of the time. So that's the thing with those games. So whenever they release the games on to a broader audience, hell, it's everything but surprising that it's a success. Like, when I saw that article, like, oh, we were surprised that Golden was a success on Steam. I was like, what the hell? How can you be surprised? That's... What?
How could you possibly say that?
Dude, I was...
Like, and we got that article like 6 times now in the past year. Like...
You know what's...
It's not surprising.
You know, if they release a new Call of Duty in 2021, that's gonna surprise me more than Golden succeeding on PC. That's the thing. It's like, it's everything but surprising. I don't get it. But hey, again, my argument to this is Atlas. It's Atlas. There's nothing else to say. They're hard to predict, and sometimes they're hard to tell. And I've read the comments a bit. I'm reading the chat while we're talking here, and there's a clarifications. The sales, it's 1.5 million Vita and Steam combined. And I thought the Vita version was over 1 million, so at this point they're probably at like 2 million combined. 2 millions combined. I would think so, though. Okay.
Oh, by the way, I actually wanted to know. You asked me earlier, David, about how I first heard about the news about Strikers. I kind of want to hear what Rikku has to say about that. How he heard about that news.
Absolutely. This is where I was heading at. What?
Oh yeah. This is gonna be kind of funny. So, I was watching Wreck-It Ralph, and I just finished the movie, right? And so I was like, let me see what's on Twitter. Let me see what's going on, right?
That's so random.
Right. And I'm just like, I'm looking, I'm like, everybody's freaking out in the chat. Yeah, everybody's freaking out on Twitter. I'm like, wait, what the heck happened, bro? And so I found the unlisted video, and I'm like, oh my god, it actually freaking happened, right? And so it's like, it's crazy because it's like we knew it was gonna happen, but I was still like really excited just to see it officially, like, well, not announced, but leaked. And I actually feel kind of bad about the guy who had it leaked, honestly, but yeah, I was literally just watching the movie, finished it, checked Twitter, and I was like, okay, yeah, I see what's going on.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's
Wreck-It Ralph, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm a fan.
No, it looks great.
Great movie.
It looks good. Never watched it, but it looks good. It looks interesting. You know what,
First
Rikku?
was good, second was not.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that what happened to me today, this morning, because I only saw the news when I woke up, is probably what happened to Christian on July 20th, when I was spamming him with the news of the direct. I was like, dude, you're on vacation. I don't care. Pull out your phone. Look at the trailer. SMT5, bro. And he had like a reaction video. He was recording his reaction in a park or something because he was like, I need to film it right away. And he was freaking out. It was great. It's basically the same thing that happened to me this morning. I woke up to a bunch of message of people who were like, hey, dude, wake up, wake up. There's news. No, it's great. And
yeah.
I was not expecting that as well. Such a cool surprise this morning. And just as you mentioned, like, we knew that it was going to happen at some point, but not today. Mm-hmm. There's one question that I wanted to ask you guys while we're on the topic of Strikers. Were you actually expecting the announcement at the Game Awards? Because now we know that this trailer was supposed to drop during the Game Awards next week.
Yeah, I was expecting. Well, it was one of those things where I was like expecting it, but I wouldn't be let down if it didn't happen, because I try not to get too hyped about, like, you know, Atlas stuff, because it usually ends up in Peppa Pig, you know what I'm saying? So
yep. Hashtag Tokyo Game Show 2020 or New Game Plus Part 2 that we like to call it here.
Yeah, let's have Part 3. But yeah, I mean, I didn't think it was too crazy. Like, I was kind of expecting it to happen.
Oh yeah, cool. So you actually added in mine. It was a bit different for me. I was more in the lines of, like, it makes sense, but just like SMT5, it makes a lot of sense to get this game, or to get anything from this game at the Game Awards, but I don't think it's gonna happen. That was my thought. So I was wrong, but hey, I'm glad. The thing is, it would have been cool if it was a surprise. But hey, King, let us know. What were you predicting this game to be at the show?
So, I always like to joke about how Scramble doesn't exist and everything, but I knew it was coming eventually, and I thought that the Game Awards made the most sense. Previously, I thought New Games Plus Expo made the most sense. Previously, I thought other things made a lot of sense. But so my, like, expectations, I set expectations to wait and see. So I wanted to believe that was going to be at the new at the not New Games Plus. Screw that thing. The Game Awards. That's what it is. The Game Awards.
Yeah.
I was really wanting it to be, but I wasn't trying to get my hopes up because I knew it made too much sense. It's like putting your games on new consoles. It's porting your older games to a new console. It makes too much sense.
Oh yeah, for sure. The thing is with the Game Awards, I've been watching this show for the last few years, and obviously I was not a content creator yet, so I was not streaming the event or anything, but I was always out there watching the show while playing a game on the side or something. And the thing is, they rarely show Japanese, like, they have their premieres and stuff at the show, obviously, but they rarely show Japanese premieres or Japanese games, except if it's like big games like Breath of the Wild or Nintendo's IPs. I don't know if you guys, maybe in the chat you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's rare that they show them. It happens that we've got a few exceptions, but again, it's because of Nintendo. We've seen Bayonetta, we've seen No More Heroes and Bravely Default, stuff like that. But more niche RPGs, it's kind of rare. It's kind of rare at the Game Awards. It's a really Western and mainline gaming focused event. So yeah, it made sense, but at the same time, I was like, I don't necessarily know. I
like the wait and see approach because if you wait and see, then you won't be as disappointed. And I've been hurt too many times by the announcement of this game to just get my hopes up again.
Oh yeah, I'm kind of like the wait and see as well. But honestly, whenever like the event starts, I can't help but get hyped in my mind. It's impossible for me to just relax, you know.
Pretty much. Like, I'm going in next week. We're gonna start the stream, and I'm gonna give my last predictions. I'm not expecting much. That's the thing. With the Game Awards, I'm able to say I'm gonna have fun, whether they announce stuff that I'm excited for or not, because I think the show is interesting. Whether you think the way that they nominate the games and stuff is fair or not is debatable, but I still think that it's an entertaining package in the end. So that's the thing with the Game Awards. New Game Plus Expo, that was a new thing. We didn't know what to expect, and we had a friend who was certain that we would get the announcement during this show. So, and he had reliable sources. He actually saw the game in English himself, and he was certain that we would get the game. So we were all here reporting like, oh yeah, we're getting Scramble, New Game Plus Expo, baby, it's happening. And then Catherine. That's all. So yeah, that was a disappointment because we created expectations. But everyone here, please keep your expectations low for Kaylee's show because it's
but have your expectations high for December 8th. Because we are going to get information on Strikers December 8th. It's confirmed.
I feel bad about the Twitter post,
okay,
honestly, because they disabled all the comments.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah, it's just like, bro, they know what happened. It's just jacked up.
Oh yeah, they know. We have a few questions. I'm gonna try to pick questions while we're talking because I think since we only have 2 subjects, I'm sure we'll have a lot to say about those subjects, obviously. But I think people will also have lots of questions, and I want to support everyone who's supporting us by listening to us rambling about games. So I'm going to read a few questions here. First question of the stream comes from Golden Playhouse. He asks, question for you all. Do you think Persona on Switch is good, but need to put Persona 5 on Switch, but kind of feel they don't deserve it because of freaking... Okay. Hey, I'm not too sure. What do you mean? Do you think it's gonna do well on Switch? Is that what you mean, Golden Playhouse? I'm not too sure. If that's the case,
I mean, obviously it would do good on Switch. I don't know if he's talking about Strikers or Vanilla or Royal.
He's talking about P5 in general. I think I'm just not too sure about what he wants to say with developers and such. But let's assume that he was saying, do you think it's gonna do well if it comes to Switch?
I mean, it's a home run. I mean, but a lot of people might not think it, but I still think there's like exclusivity things behind the scenes that we don't know of. There could be, and that might be the reason. Who knows? But I mean, it ran on the PS3. Persona 5 ran on the PS3. There's no reason it can't run on Switch. So to me, the fact that it's not on there, but Strikers, you got to get the name right, Strikers, it's going to be on there. I just think it's a matter of exclusivity.
Yeah, I kind of think that's the case too. Just a little bit, you know,
Okay.
just in the back of my mind.
Okay, interesting. I agree with one part of what you just said. Like, I do think that, well, yeah, for sure, the technical, there's no technical issues. Like, P5 can run on Switch. It's just as you mentioned, PS3 games. There's not a lot of stuff going on at the same time, so I don't think they would have issues with a stable 30 FPS on Switch. Sorry, and the Catherine Full Body is running on the P5 engine. So, and it's running perfectly fine. It's running as well as on the other versions. So I don't see technical issues with P5.
And I just wanted to mention, you mentioned technical issues and the P5 engine on Switch and everything. You saw that video that Faz put up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Everything comparing like
Scramble.
Persona 5 Scramble to Catherine and everything. And honestly, it's just Koei Tecmo's engine, dude. It's just a matter of, it's not optimized for Switch.
Mm-hmm.
The Persona 5 engine, you know, Catherine was the guinea pig for Persona 5. It runs perfectly on Switch. I played the entire game on Switch. Loved it, by the way. If you haven't bought it, please buy it. I played the entire game, not one hiccup, ran perfectly. So there's no reason that Persona 5 can't run perfectly on Switch.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with Scramble, yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a completely different engine, completely different game and stuff. But a Warriors game is really demanding. There's a lot of action on screen at the same time, lots of enemies at the same time on screen. It's not a freaking turn-based RPG, or there's not a lot of visual. Well, there is visual novel parts like the dialogues with characters and such, but during combat, it's way more demanding a game like Scramble or Strikers than freaking a turn-based RPG. That's the thing. It's so different, and of course the frame rate's gonna struggle a bit more on Switch because it's not as powerful as a PlayStation 4 or a freaking. Because I think Fez was comparing the PS4 version, PS5 version, and also Switch. So, man, the difference between PS5 and Switch, that's the thing. I saw comparisons of Immortal Phoenix Rising from Ubisoft. I saw comparisons Switch versus PS5. Dude, that's like Game Boy to the PS3. It's like, the difference is massive here. That's the thing.
I mean, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. You're comparing an SSD to like a mobile chipset. It's like, it's not really a fair comparison, and I'm not trying to shit on the Switch port at all, because I know it runs. It's perfectly playable. I played the demo myself. It's perfectly playable. I had a lot of fun with it. But I mean, it's just a matter of, I think it might be Atlas testing the waters on like demand for Persona on Switch, but there's no way that they don't see that demand there. You know? So, that's just my opinion.
Again, I want to say that they can't be aware of the demand. But at the same time, we're talking about the guys who were surprised that P4G was a success on Steam. So, I don't know what to think anymore. It's like, it's crazy. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell with Atlas. It's just, man, they're so predictable. But P5 and Switch is such a debate.
And I just saw a question on the chat, and David, I'm going to answer this question for you.
All right, go ahead.
David question: would you like Jack Bros on Switch? Hell yeah, we would love Jack Bros on Switch. I'm all for that.
People are
Jack Bros.
People are always out here asking for Jack Bros. I don't know what's the big deal with this game, bro. What the hell?
It's just a meme at this point, man.
Yeah, I think it's
And
just a
I'm here
meme.
for it.
Yeah, I think it's just a meme. But hey,
Yeah, it's got to be.
yeah, never played it though. Don't hurt a visual boy.
I'm here for it though.
Unfortunately,
I'm not gonna lie. If they sold that shit for $60, being the simp I am, I'd probably buy it.
oh yeah, same. I buy everything Atlas nowadays, so whether it's a good thing or not. What else do I wanted to ask you for Strikers? So you guys were both expecting the announcement at the Game Awards. That's crazy. I'm all alone here. I was not expecting it. Damn it.
Can I ask why you weren't expecting it, David?
Well, because it's not the type of announcements that we see at this show normally. From what I remember,
But here's the thing. I've seen like when The Last of Us first came out. See, I remember the Game Awards from years ago, back when it aired on Spike TV. They showed like new trailers for The Last of Us. We got Last of Us reveals and everything. To me, the Game Awards has always been a big thing. Maybe it's kind of sizzled down in years, but still, I mean, they revealed a Joker for Smash at the Game Awards.
Yeah. Okay. That's where I was heading to. They rarely show Japanese games at this event. They rarely announce Japanese games at the event, but when they do, it's Nintendo. Joker for Smash, it's Nintendo. Bayonetta 3, 1 and 2, that's Nintendo. No More Heroes 3, that's Nintendo. And who's marketing SMT5? Nintendo. Hey, I don't want anyone to get their expectations high, but SMT5 makes freaking a lot of sense. Niche game. Its main audience is hardcore gamers. Hardcore gamers are watching the Game Awards. Nintendo's marketing SMT5. Nintendo likes to have announcements at the Game Awards. Lots of coincidence. But
so my question for y'all is, you know, we saw the SMT5 trailer during the Nintendo Direct, right? Personally, I would expect that Nintendo Direct as, you know, as compared to like the Game Awards or something. But that's just my personal opinion. To me, it would make more sense to show it at Direct. I think Nintendo's kind of low key with its ever since they started the Direct thing. I think they've been more low key with their presentations and everything, and being at certain, you know, events and stuff. But that's just my opinion. So,
well, it makes sense. I mean, it's just that there's a lot of coincidence. There's a lot of coincidence of. I don't want to get my expectations high, but when I look at what Nintendo likes to show at the Game Awards, they like to show their niche Japanese exclusives made by third-party developers, and that's exactly what SMT5 is. So it's just in the back of my head, like I'm stupid enough to put SMT5's logo on my thumbnail for the live reaction of the Game Awards. But hey, you cannot laugh because July 20th, I was streaming the darn thing. No one had SMT5 in their thumbnail. I had SMT5 in my freaking thumbnail. I had my SMT shirt on, and guess who was right? I was not even expecting it, but I was like, I'll put the freaking game here, and maybe we'll get lucky. And bruh, when I saw the Atlas logo, I was like, flip the desk. I was like, whoa, it was crazy. And it's gonna be the same thing at the Game Awards. No. Nocturne was crazy. And you know, when we started the stream on July 20th, we were like, I had my viewers, like we were 20 people in, we were chatting, it was a lot of fun. Well, the Direct was alright. We were like, oh, okay, cool announcement. Okay, WWE. Okay, looks alright. And then Atlas logo, and I was like, whoa! And then I see Demi Fiend. I'm like, whoa, Nocturne! And then we start freaking out and stuff. And then the viewers, it gets like 100 viewers, 150 viewers, 200 viewers, and I'm like, what's going on? Because everyone clicked on my stream because I had the SMT5 logo. That's the thing. Everyone was like, oh, this dude knows SMT, and I put my stupid face in the thumbnail, and you could see my SMT shirt on my thumbnail before I started the freaking stream. So lots of luck on my side on this day. But I do remember a lot of people in the chat were saying, it's so refreshing. I've been on like 6 streams, 6 live reactions before yours for this Direct, and you're the first one who, when you saw Demi Fiend, you know who he was. Everyone was like, what's this game? Oh, what's this game gonna be? And I was like, Nocturne! I was screaming, freaking out. I was like, I knew what was going on.
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like a history lesson. Oh, go ahead, my bad.
Oh no, you good, Rikku. I was just saying that I'm about to be exposed because y'all might hate me for this, and I might get like bombarded on Twitter because of this, but I've never played Nocturne. So to me, trust me, my girlfriend's played it. She loved it. She loved it on the PS2. She told me all about it. But seeing that reaction, seeing the reaction from everybody, that made me want to play even more. So I was pretty hyped for it too. And also having difficulty levels helps too, because I'm not too good at JRPGs sometimes, but I got really excited for it, man. And coming from a new fan for SMT, it really got me excited for the series. Being only Persona fan, only coming from the Persona series, that really got me excited, man.
Oh, for sure. But it's cool. And Haru, oh my god, I'm destroying your name, bro. Haruhi. Oh man, sorry, bro. My that's my French coming out here. I can't say this word. He just said
it's
the
okay,
Japanese.
You're Canadian.
Yeah.
You're Canadian. That's cool.
The Japanese direct was SMT5 first, then Nocturne. And that's very interesting because for me, when I reacted to this direct, I was like, whoa, Nocturne, that's cool. And in my head, I was not saying it because I was concentrated on watching the thing and screaming. But in my head, in the back of my head, I was like, they are not ready to show SMT5. Like, they're giving us Nocturne because SMT5 is so far away. So when I saw the screen that we saw 1,000 times now, the black screen with the 5 going up slowly, this screen, when I saw it, I was like, no way. I was freaking out so much. It was crazy. I mean, we saw this trailer again at Tokyo Game Show and we freaked out, so hey, we don't need much. We don't need much. So yeah,
That
again,
had to be a disappointment for you SMT fans, though, seeing the exact same trailer at the Tokyo Game Show all over again.
well, you see,
I know it was a disappointment for me.
yeah, because Rikku was with me the whole time. We were streaming we streamed the first Atlas show, then we streamed Capcom, then we streamed Sega's second show. And we were live from like 6 a.m. to 11 a.m. expecting SMT5. And at around the middle of the show for Sega's shows part 2, we were 3 on stream. There was Rikku, Kuro, and there was me. And I was talking with Kuro, not necessarily concentrating on the show because it was trash. And freaking Rikku was like, he saw the trailer and he just interrupted us. He was like, whoa, hold up, because he saw the trailer and we were like, whoa, but it was the same old trailer. It was like, that's the thing that got us the most excited, is the same old trailer. That's the thing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh man, good old memories.
Yeah, I wanted to add real quick.
Go ahead.
King Narukami said that he hasn't played Nocturne. I haven't really fully played it either. I'm not gonna lie. I played like maybe 10 hours of it. I never was able to beat it. The first one I played fully was SMT4 actually, but I knew enough about it that I was still able to like react crazy on July 20th. So
yeah. And then that's the thing with Nocturne. I think you guys will enjoy it because the remastered, I think they're gonna work on it before they release it for us in the West. So I do think it's gonna be patched a bit. There's not gonna be there's not gonna be like the compressed, there's not gonna be the new music, there's not gonna be new content, they're not gonna add the additional features that we wanted for the fusion system and stuff, but they're gonna make it a good running game. Is it gonna be a really good, impressive remaster? No, of course not. Atlas don't care that much, but I think it's gonna work fine at least. I think it's gonna run fine at least. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah.
You really want to hear my thoughts?
Yeah.
Oh,
You really want to hear my thoughts about Atlas fixing their own games?
Let's talk about it.
Bro, they ain't even gonna patch at 60 FPS, uncapped frame rate for Persona 5, which is a part of the PlayStation Plus collection on the PS5. Ain't no way in hell they're gonna fix Nocturne Remastered. They may say that they're working on it, but what are they gonna do? I really don't think that they're gonna get it, especially on the Switch, which chugs like hell apparently. I really don't think they're gonna get it into a working. I mean, it works, but it's not going to be like a perfect state.
Yeah, well, that's. I'm just expecting the game to run like it should. That's the thing. I'm not expecting them to open the frame rate. It's still gonna be locked at 30, and that sucks for us who own a PS5 because it would run at like 120 FPS if it was unlocked. But we don't need it anyway. Anyways, for this type of game, it doesn't necessarily matter. But on Switch, it's a PS2 game. There's no reason why the game should drop in frame rates.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. That's the thing. That's the problem that I have with the port. But personally, I expect the game to run just fine. It's not going to be impressive. No, they're not going to add what we want, but it's going to run fine once it comes out in the West. They said they're working on it at the moment. I don't want to get expectations high, but we know they're working on it, and knowing Atlas, I know full well that they're not going to add those elements, but I think it's going to run fine at least.
Atlas, expect the least expected.
Pretty much. Any thoughts on Nocturne HD and how it's going to be in once it releases in the West, Rikku?
Yeah, I think it does have its issues. Honestly, it's not too bad for me personally. I think it's good I think it's good enough that I can enjoy it on Switch or PS4. I'm probably gonna get it on the Switch, but yeah, it doesn't seem like it's terrible. I do think that the music is the biggest letdown personally, because the OST in that game is really good, and I just don't like the way it sounds. Other than that, though, I mean, and the fact that it even has voice acting, it's just the music's gonna sound really out of place there, especially with the voice acting. But I think it's good enough that I'm still gonna be able to enjoy it. I'm looking more forward to SMT5 though, anyway. So. Oh
yeah, for sure. It's a real bummer. The music is a big. It's a deal breaker for me, at least. I do agree with this one. It's like, yeah, it sucks because there's the potential's here, and it's just not here. And I don't think it would have been much work to do something like Dragon. I said that in your video, Rikku, that you posted today. It would have been easy to add some type of, because they already have the official original orchestrated soundtrack. It would have been easy to give us, or I think it would have been easy to give us the option, like in Dragon Quest XI's, to have the original music and to have like the orchestrated music. It would have been really, really cool. But the soundtrack is still extremely good, so.
Yeah, I just hope that by the time, if Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2 gets like the HD treatment, I hope they have that like fixed, because the battle theme in 2 is so good. I would not. Well, is it the same like that on the PS2? It still sounds like Nocturne. Is it still like compressed on there?
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah. I hope they fix that. I really do.
Oh
man, I hope they do.
I think it's gonna be the same thing. Like what we'll get in March. Hey, I'm so confident about March. What we'll get with Nocturne once it releases here is what we're gonna get with DDS 1 and 2 once it releases here. I think.
Are we going to get the 4:3 aspect ratio videos on top of everything? We failed to mention that as well.
That's another problem. Like there's no reason. It's
no excuses.
Yeah.
No excuses.
Exactly.
The least they could have done is stretched out the video. Yeah, you lose some quality, but at least that doesn't take away from the immersion 1000%. But to me, it's like, okay, so I've been trying to get into Devil May Cry lately.
Cool.
The HD collection, it's like you do some gameplay and stuff, and then here's a cutscene. Here's a pre-render cutscene from the PS2 era. It takes you out of it, man. I'm telling you. And that 4:3 aspect ratio going from a full screen to black bars on the side. I don't think it's black bars, I'm not sure, but I know that the video's in 4:3 aspect ratio. That's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
The least they could have done is stretch the video out to make it full screen.
Oh yeah, for real. They don't care. They really don't care, and that's why I don't think they're gonna fix those issues. I think they're gonna keep it extremely minimal. They're gonna make sure it runs fine. That's it. Unfortunately, because it's supposed to be a remastered. If you're playing the game on PS2 and you're not missing out on anything, it's not a remastered anymore. It's just a re-release. And some people are arguing that it's a lesser re-release because it lags and the original version runs perfectly fine. So that's the thing. That's the problem that I have with this game. But hey, I've been keeping an eye on the chat and we're getting lots of interesting questions, but I'm missing everything. So you guys, are you okay if we take like 10-15 minutes to just answer questions, because people have interesting questions and I want to give the attention to the chat a bit here. So guys, we have 15 minutes. Go ahead, drop questions. We're going to talk about them. Try to keep it related as much as possible, if possible. So we're going to head into predictions for Persona 25th anniversary after that. So it should be interesting. I think that's the subject that we're going to have a lot to say for sure. So anything, questions, go ahead.
Someone in the comments said that Persona 4 Golden was very low tech. It was running on the Vita, and it's a PS2 game.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Exactly. But the port,
It was always going to be a PS2 game.
the port on PCs is great. It is great. Way better than I think P4G on PC is a better port than Nocturne Remaster is.
100%, I agree.
Okay.
And that's with the video stuttering issues that it has for a lot of people.
I have a first question here. Will you do a top 10 SMT Demons video? Not too sure, Heather. That's a good question. Maybe I might do it in the future. Not in the near future necessarily, though. I'm not a big top 10 guy. I'm starting to do some of them in videos, but that's not necessarily my thing personally. But maybe at some point I'll consider it. Next question is actually from Saltendo, and I want to hear you guys' thoughts on it because I made videos on the matter. SMT5 protagonist in Smash.
Yes, please. Yes, because
Okay.
it's like it's a great way to market the game. I mean, you see what? Well, let me not compare it to Joker, but look, I play Smash a lot. I have like 700 hours in Smash. You know, I like Smash. All right? And just to see like mainline SMT stuff like the spells and stuff like that, like represented in the game would be amazing. Plus, people who play Smash, they'll buy SMT5 just because of that, because he looks dope. You know, that's why people want Persona 5 on Switch, because of Joker. Well, that's not the main reason, but you know what I mean. It helped out a lot.
Oh yeah, for sure. King, SMT5 protagonist, Smash Brothers.
I'd love to see it. I'd buy it in an instant. Will they still be releasing Smash DLC by the time it comes out? Considering it's probably going to be delayed till 2022, I feel like. Shin Megami Tensei 5. Who knows?
Oh,
You're hurting me.
I'm sorry. I'm being realistic, David. I'm being realistic, man.
Okay, cool. Good. Great question. Thank you, Saltendo. I would like to see you know, I know that you probably watched the video, but yeah, I do want SMT5 protagonist in Smash, and I think it's kind of likely at the same time. The next question is, again, another great question that I thought about it before, and I heard someone in a podcast mention it, but I don't remember who, unfortunately, so I can't give credit. I'm very sorry. Persona 5 Strikers Deluxe at some point? Complete edition? Something like that?
Like re-releases like that?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily, depending on if they do DLC or not. I thought they would.
I don't really see the point in it.
Yeah, I thought they would initially if they were to do DLC and then just release complete edition with all the DLC, but now they're not doing DLC, so it's been out for a year in Japan, so I doubt it.
If it ever gets a native PS5 port, which since they only announced it to PS4,
Yeah.
Switch, and Steam, I don't see it getting a.
Same.
I feel like that's when we would get it.
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen anytime soon, personally, but yeah.
No. Has there even been DLC? I'm sorry, but has there even been DLC announced for Scrambled Strikers, whatever you want to call it? I
don't think so. We would have seen it. No, I don't think there's DLC. Maybe you can correct us in the chat about that. Next question. What if Atlas ported the original Persona 5 to all platforms, vanilla? We talked about that on the Discord before the stream. I want to hear your guys' thoughts. Vanilla P5 on other systems, great idea.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean,
he specified original.
Makes more sense, but
and that's a question from Relax
yeah.
Alex. Original?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, PC, Switch. Those are like, Xbox too. Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
It would be great, but if they release vanilla, don't you think there's gonna be backlash because it's not royal?
Yeah, there definitely would be. I personally would want to play Royal on my Switch or like my PC. Because the thing about it, like it's not just like DLC. It's like a whole 30, 40 extra hours and a lot of gameplay improvements. Why would you put vanilla P5 on Switch? Or PC? That doesn't make any sense actually. But
hey, let me interrupt you for a second, man. Do you know that they released vanilla Catherine on PC like a month or something before full body?
We don't talk about that, David. We do not talk
It happened.
about that, man.
It happened. So personally, I can see vanilla P5 coming to other systems. Just like, oh my god, I'm once again struggling with his name. Haruhi is saying that, yeah, they ported vanilla P5 on the PS Plus collection for PS5. I can see it happening. I can see them putting vanilla P5 on like Switch and PC.
I still don't understand why they put the vanilla P5 in the PlayStation Plus collection. You would think that they would want people to play the Royal Edition.
Royal is still selling.
Also, like,
Royal is still too
point?
recent. I think that's the reason.
Like, what would be the point of like not putting Royal everywhere? Like, that's the most. Well, that is the version that everybody wants. Why would they not do it?
It's the definitive edition. Yeah, but again, Atlas.
Yeah. You can answer any of my questions with just Atlas, to be honest.
Yeah, pretty much.
That'd be like putting Dragon Quest XI, like the base version, on the Xbox One instead of definitive edition. You know, it's just weird.
Yep, agreed.
And guys, don't get us wrong. We love Atlas, but
Yeah.
we're just
Oh, yeah.
their flaws.
Well, we gotta critique them. Okay, next question. Golden Playhouse asks, David, question: do you think a Persona collection would be good? I want to hear your thoughts, you guys' thoughts on this question before I give my thoughts. Persona collection?
Like
Persona collection, like what are yeah, exactly. Like 3 and 4, or like 1 and 2, or 2
Anything.
like, or Q1 and Q2. I mean, yeah, it would make sense in the sense of Q1 and Q2, and maybe actually giving Q2 a dub. That would be fantastic. But honestly, I think Atlas would see too much money in releasing, like, let's say you release Persona 3 and Persona 4 together in a package, a port. People are willing to spend upwards of like $40, $50 for each game individually. There's too much money signs in putting them in a collection of games. Now, I could see them putting both Persona 2 games if they ported that, which, you know, might happen at some point. But I could see that. But other than that, other than like the Q series and stuff, I really don't see Atlas doing that.
That's fair.
Yeah, I think I agree with that, but I would love like 3, 4, and 5. Okay, I'm gonna make some people mad because like I don't know anything about 1 and 2. I played Revelations on the PlayStation Classic, but honestly, 3, 4, and 5, they play similar. You can just market that, hey guys, this is the Persona you want, except this is like the older version, you know?
Yeah. The question was, do you think it would be good? Yeah, absolutely. I think it would be good. I think it's not happening anytime soon, though, because... And I don't even know what Persona collection you're talking about precisely, Golden Playhouse. Just as you guys mentioned, is it 3, 4? Is it 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 2 EP and stuff? So we don't necessarily know what you want exactly. But for anything, I don't think it's happening because Atlas is already struggling with releasing one game only, porting one game only. They're not ready to do some type of collection yet. They're not there. They're not there yet at all. Like, I don't see it happening in the near future.
Here's the thing. A collection would be very consumer friendly, but there's too many dollar signs in releasing each game individually.
Makes sense. Great question. Thank you, Golden Playhouse. Super Gamer Guy 64 says, with Atlas dropping SMT 3 HDS and SMT 5 in 2021, King Narukami 2021, thank you. Do you think they will put SMT 4 just in HD with both screens on one, just so people can play all the mainline games? Don't see it happening.
So I actually talked to Spencer about this the other night about SMT 4 port, and I think we pretty much both agreed that wouldn't happen. There's just too many things going on with the 3DS version and stuff. I think Persona Q would make more sense than Shin Megami Tensei 4.
Easier to port.
Yeah, I think that game's pretty much just stuck on it. Well, I don't want to say stuck. It's probably just gonna stay on a 3DS.
Agreed. It's a lot of work to port.
Unless they remake it years from now.
Oh yeah.
But again, Atlas. Who knows? Remakes.
Atlas.
I'm not too sure.
Atlas.
Yeah.
Atlas.
First, I'm sorry if we skip any questions. I'm doing my best to get all of them. Next question that I see is Potatis Thetis says, could we see Reason's return in 5 instead of alignment reps or something entirely new? That's interesting. That's really interesting. I don't know what they're gonna do with it. With the recent releases, it was still the alignment system, so I don't know if they're gonna... I don't know if they're gonna go all in with something new, personally.
I personally think that it's possible.
Yeah, it is.
And yeah, you can see, what is it called, like Magatsuhi, the red things from Nocturne. Those are in like the SMT5 trailer. So it's like, bro, are they bringing this back? You know, I could see that. I really could see that.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, Golden Playhouse answered
Taking
for his.
inspiration.
Sorry.
Oh, I'm saying it's like they're taking inspiration from Nocturne.
Yeah.
Like that and the whole Reasons thing. That'd be great.
Yeah, pretty much. Rogue Demon asks, how close do you think that SMT5 is being done with development? Well, obviously, King Narukami thinks it just started.
I didn't say that, David.
I'm fucking with
I
you.
just think Atlas has a lot on their plate right now.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I really see it getting delayed. Honestly, I know you hate to say that. Maybe it'll get delayed to Q1 2022, but I just see it getting delayed.
Honestly, I can't blame you, though. It's fair. It's a fair take. Anyone that says it's gonna get delayed, I'm not blaming anyone. Like, honestly, yesterday's video was me talking about, does it make sense that it gets delayed? Yeah, it makes sense. Does it make sense that it releases in 21? Yeah, it makes sense as well. So I don't know. I don't even know what to think. So anyone who says it's gonna get delayed, that's fair to me. Now, where I think they are in development, I do have my opinion. I think they started full-scale development beginning of 2018, so it's been a while. It's been a while already. I think they're struggling a bit with Unreal Engine 4. I think that's their biggest challenge at the moment. But at the same time, I do think that there's a reason why they were confident enough to show us this trailer on July 20th and give us a date and tell us right away that it's going to be a worldwide release. I think
that's the big thing for me.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a reason why. And I'm a big believer in the fact that Nintendo's going to do everything marketing-wise for this game. And I'm sure that Nintendo, they probably verified with Atlas before showing it again with a date to make sure that it's possible. I'm sure SMT5 is not a Persona 5. I'm sure that SMT5 is not a Persona 5 situation. It's not going to be 2017 and releases in 2025 or some shit like that. It's not happening. If it gets delayed, it's going to be a short delay. And someone said this to me in my comment section of one of my videos, and he said, or she said, the game has been delayed already during its development. The development of SMT5 has been delayed. And I'm like, that makes a lot of sense. And the reason why they were silent for 3 years is because of that. They delayed their development, but now they're at a certain point in development where they're confident enough to say, here you go. We're now ready to give a date. We're not ready to tell you in which year it's going to release. And I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I agree. And we would never know if it was internally delayed. So.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So for all we know, they're right.
Oh yeah. Let me see. Will we get 13 Sentinels Aegis Rim to all platforms? That's from Relax Alex.
How well did it sell in Japan? Honestly.
Pretty well.
Have we gotten sales figures on that?
I don't think we got numbers necessarily, but we saw the game in charts, and it didn't do that well at first, but word of mouth was great in Japan for this game, unlike here. And I think it did pretty well in Japan. The thing is, I don't know if Atlas will give a budget to Vanillaware to port the game to other systems. And that's a bummer, because I think this is the type of game that would do well on PC, especially. And maybe even on Switch. Because it's very story heavy, lots of visual novel sequences, and I think this is the type of game that you want to play laying down on bed. Like, I wish I still had my Vita, because this is the game that I would have played remote play for sure, because it screams portable play. I mean, it's easy to see that this game was supposed to be a Vita game at first. Like, when you play it, you can easily see it. So yeah. That's the thing. Great question. Any thoughts, guys?
I think if it was up to Atlas West, it would rather forget about 13 Sentinels. Honestly, because it didn't sell well.
Yeah.
I think in Japan, I think if it was a choice over there, we could see it on Switch. I I think that would be a great port. Now, would that come to the West? I really don't know. I think the marketing was so bad for that game that it didn't stand a chance here. And now I think Atlas West is going to treat it like the redhead stepchild and just drop all advertisement and everything now that Scramble Strikers is coming out in the West. So, I mean, that's just my 2 cents, though.
Yeah, it makes sense. Going back to SMT5 real quick, there's one thing that I want to add. Vic Netty in the chat says 2021 is Persona's 25th, as we all know, because that's the next subject for today's podcast. And 2022 is SMT's 30th anniversary. And that's the thing. SMT5, if you guys remember, was announced as part of the celebration for SMT's 25th anniversary. So if it releases for a 30th anniversary, that's kind of ironic. It's like, hey, announcement 25th, see you for the 30th anniversary when the game releases. It's like, that's a thing. But hey. Because we're getting so many questions. I'm sorry. I know that we cannot answer all of them because we're all talking and we can't stop whenever you guys drop questions. And I'm sure that we're going to have a lot to say about the 25th anniversary, and we're already an hour in. Should we jump in with the 25th anniversary of the Persona series? Are you guys ready?
Yes, I'm here for it. Yes.
Awesome. I have a few questions in mind. Not a lot of them because, again, I knew that the chat would be coming in hot with the questions. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you guys first. I want to hear one of your predictions for the 25th. 1 second. Just before I ask it. Anyone who jumped in the stream after like the first 10 minutes, I said, if you don't know already, the series producer for the Persona series said that we could expect lots of exciting announcement for the 25th anniversary of the Persona series next year in 2021. So this is what we're talking about today. We're going to give our predictions and stuff. And the first thing that I wanted to ask you guys is I want to hear for each one of you one prediction for something that you're pretty sure or something that you're very confident is going to get released or announced next year as part of the 25th anniversary for the Persona series. One thing for each of you.
I think, well, man, I want to, okay, look, don't call me crazy. And Persona 5 Road just came out. Maybe we get some sort of like really cryptic teaser for Persona 6 or something. I don't know. You know?
No,
I agree. I 100% agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
now Rikku, we have
obviously it would be like a concept trailer.
We have to jump in now. You started it.
No. It wouldn't be like they would put like a screen up that said 2021 to 2022. That's years out from now. But a teaser.
Yep.
1000%.
Yep. It's gonna be what we had for P5. It's gonna be similar to, or maybe not as good as what we got for SMT5, the first trailer. But hey, we're the three of us are expecting some type of official first announcement for Persona 6, and I'm glad to hear that. Some people called me crazy when I said that, but I think it's happening as part of the 25th. It's a great way great time to announce it, I think.
You're not crazy. I mean, look how long it took Persona 5 to release.
Exactly. Atlus is definitely
delay after delay.
They are not scared at all to announce their stuff way too soon. They're not.
Except for Scramble in the West.
Oh yeah, for sure. So any thoughts, guys? Persona 6, I see that Potato Status says it. It said it. Persona 6 reveal. No gameplay. Yeah, we agreed on that.
Yeah, I'm thinking like somewhere along the lines of that. What is the old trailer with the chairs with the chains on it? Something like that.
They're gonna
like
give
very
us.
Basic.
They're gonna give us 6 chairs this year. Someone said that in the Discord.
I expect winter 2022, and then it doesn't release till 2024.
2024 seems like if it releases in 2024, we better get Refantasy beforehand, though.
Oh yeah, I definitely
Maybe.
want to happen before Persona 6.
Maybe, yeah. King Narukami, let's hear it. One thing that you're confident in, other than P6 next year for Persona.
Ports.
Okay, give me one.
so this might be out there, and some people might not be happy with this, but I could see Persona 3 FES releasing for consoles, PC, and what would be cool to me is if they release Persona 3 FES and Persona 3 Portable for the Switch. That's such a portable game.
I don't have anything to add. That's exactly what I had in mind. I am extremely confident in a Persona 3. What I think they'll do, what I want them to do is to give us a remaster for Persona 3. FES, overall, new graphics, kind of like Golden. That's what I mean with new graphics. And had small stuff. Give us the ability to control your party members like in Portable. Give us the female main character. Give us that. And then that's what I want. Now, what I think they'll do...
just the definitive edition.
Yeah, exactly. But what I think they'll do is a straight up the minimum port for a Persona 3 FES port. That's what they're going to give us. Steam, maybe Switch, maybe PS4. Straight port. No portable content.
4K graphics, 60 FPS.
No, freaking weird resolution. Weird screen ratio, just like Nocturne. That's what they're going to give us.
Oh, that hurt, man. Dude, no.
I'm being honest. I'm being honest here. But hey, you guys said the two biggest things that I'm extremely confident about. So, yeah.
Now, the only way ports to consoles don't... You know me, I don't have a PC. So I'm rooting for console ports like hell. Mm-hmm. I'm happy that Steam is getting all these Persona games. People are getting exposed to the series. But here's the thing though. Like these I really want console ports because it just doesn't make any sense if you release Persona 4 Golden on Steam and don't plan it. Unless Atlas hates free money, it just doesn't make any sense not to release these ports to console to me. I still don't know why we haven't gotten Persona 4 Golden on PlayStation 4 or Switch or even Xbox at this point. I don't know what the holdup is. And that's not me port begging. That's just me being realistic.
Right, it makes sense. It's Persona 5 sold like crazy on the PS4. Why would they not put Persona 4 on it? It really just doesn't make any sense. But then again, it's Atlas, right? We could say that again, right?
We can always say that, unfortunately.
Oh man.
Unfortunately.
Oh, God.
But hey, yeah, Persona 6. I want to ask now, when do you think they're gonna start? Because I have a few things in mind that I want to talk about. When do you think they'll start to announce stuff for the 25th anniversary of the Persona series? Are they gonna just do one event, dropping everything like a concert or something like that, or are they gonna release stuff during the year?
I'm very weird about that subject, so I'm gonna let Rikku answer this for me because I really don't know. I really don't know where I stand.
Fair.
I'm kind of with you there. I really don't know. I want to say just be safe and say 2021, but I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just throwing darts with a blindfold, honestly. I can't predict them. I can't tell.
Yeah, well, we know it's gonna happen next year because it's the 25th. But I was wondering if they're gonna.
There's no way we don't at least see like a 30-second teaser, like Rikku said, with the chains and the chair and everything that we saw for Persona 5. There's no possible way that we don't see that. Mm-hmm. It only makes sense. Isn't that what they did with Persona 5 for the 20th anniversary or whatever it was? It only makes sense. Oh, now, we're not getting Persona 6 next year. Please do not take my words.
Oh, no.
Don't twist them.
Oh, no.
We are not getting it next year.
No.
That would be miraculous.
We're not seeing anything from this game next year except what we're talking about here, like a small logo or a small teaser of like 20 seconds.
And like I said, we're probably not even seeing it 2022, maybe not even 2023. But I expect a small teaser at least. Oh
yeah, probably. I'm gonna mute the Discord real quick, not because I don't love you guys, but because we're gonna hear the doo-doo-doo every time in the playbacks. So I just realized that I didn't mute it. Oh, my bad. Yeah. Good points. Good points on that one. It's hard to explain because we're having, like, we know that it's gonna be a very, very, very interesting year for Atlas. We know that they have lots of releases next year, but we also are expecting lots of announcements next year. So our expectations, we were talking about expectations before on the podcast. Now we're getting our expectations high because we already know that they're going to release Scramble in February. We do think Nocturne is going to release fairly soon in the year. Can you guys give me a prediction of when it's going to release? I still think, even if Scramble is February, I still think Nocturne is end of March or beginning of April, personally.
It's hard to say because having a release that close to each other, I mean, it's not like Scramble is a short game. 40 hours is still a long game. So I really want to say Nocturne in March. But to me, that may be a little too close to Scramble's release.
Yeah, I think Nocturne in March too.
2020 Tokyo Mirage Sessions came out in January, and that was a worldwide release because of Nintendo once again. And Persona 5 Scramble came out in February in Japan. That's kind of a similar situation, isn't it?
I mean, yeah, in a sense, but we've already seen Tokyo Mirage Sessions before.
Nocturne as well. It's been 17 years.
Yeah, you got a good.
Yeah,
you got
well,
a good point, but Tokyo, yeah.
You're
right.
Yeah, I know what you mean here, but I feel like Scramble and Nocturne, even though they're internally developed, part of at the same place, they're still so different. They're so different from one to another that would they really, like, all of us who are hardcore into just Megaton in general, we're gonna pick up both anyways. That doesn't change anything. The thing is, to the general public, I don't think it's gonna be a problem necessarily. Do I make sense?
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, it's not like, well, personally, I think, yeah, what you're saying makes sense. I don't think they're gonna like cannibalize each other's sales or anything like that. One's not gonna pick one over the other. I don't think. If they're interested in it, they'll probably just get both. But I think that makes more sense than like. I would be more worried about like SMT5 and like Personas. I mean, this isn't happening, but let's say they are Persona 6 and SMT5 releasing in the same month. I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe something there, but like,
yeah,
this is like a, well, not a war. It's a Warriors Engine game and a mainline SMT. They don't really. What's the word? Compete, I guess, you know?
That's a good point. Point. We have my man Peter Parker coming in once again with the $5 donation. Thank you so much, man, for your support. It means a lot. You're awesome, man. He has a very funny point for us today. Persona 6. You just read it, right? I was trying to concentrate while you were talking. He says Persona 6 Dorkun Retrieval Arc. Main protagonists are Persona 6 Protag, Chad Narukami, and Joker. Let's freaking go. I want to see it in the teaser for next year. 20 seconds enough to show us this.
Okay. So,
oh, man.
One time when I was drunkenly with my girlfriend, I had the idea of Persona 6 being a redemption arc in seeing you and Akira, whatever you want to call it, the Persona 4, Persona 5 protagonist, and Elizabeth saving the Persona 3 protagonist from being a door all the time. That would be pretty awesome, but I think that sounds like more of a fan fiction myself. But that would be pretty awesome. I'd still play it.
What an idea! We're waiting so long for those games that this is what we're able to come up with as fans. Like, Atlas, there's a problem somewhere.
That's Persona 6 Arena's storyline right there.
Yeah.
Right now, Persona 6 Arena.
Sorry. Oh yeah, that was a good one. Oh man, Persona 6 featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series. 20 seconds of a door. Here we go. Oh man. Oh la la. Okay. Wow.
Riku, why'd you have to kill me with that pizza time comment, man?
I'm sorry. Peter Parker donated. I had to do it, bro. I had to do it to him.
The one and only Peter Parker.
Hell yeah. Oh.
Tobey Maguire is the best, by the way. I'm sorry. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see. There's some disagreement there.
And just as the prophecy mentioned before, Riku has missed.
Yeah. In my opinion, I have made the shot.
I think Tobey Maguire is still the best one. Personally.
You ain't wrong, David. You ain't wrong.
He was great. It was great. I rewatched the first Spider-Man movie recently, actually. Great movie.
It's great. It still holds up to this day.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I will say this: Tom Holland as Nathan Drake
feels weird.
makes no sense.
Yep. But at least he's gonna be at the Game Awards.
He's gonna be young Nathan Drake. No, he's not Nathan Drake. He is really awkward young Peter Parker. He is not Nathan Drake.
Yeah, he fits better as Spider-Man. Not a bad actor. I just don't think he fits for the role necessarily.
You ain't wrong.
Yeah, that's my personal opinion on the matter. Now, are you expecting, other than the adaptation's gonna be hard. Other than Strikers at the Game Awards, are you expecting anything Persona there at the show?
No.
Nothing?
Not really.
Not at all. Not at all.
Maybe like.
I don't even expect Strikers there now.
Oh, it's gonna be there.
I don't even expect Strikers there.
Well, didn't they say that?
No, because they already announced December 8th.
Oh, December 8th. Oh, okay. What the hell? It's so random then. Tuesday.
Yeah, if you go, like I said, if you click on that link on Atlas's West
I'll go.
tweet,
Right
it says
away.
all will be revealed on December 8th or whatever.
Huh. Could you imagine if that was an SMT5 post? All will be revealed on December 8th.
They just drop a tweet.
All will be
My
revealed.
heart stops.
Bruh, I'm dying.
All will be revealed that it is delayed until 2022.
Oh.
They can't hype up a delay like that. I'll actually die.
It's Atlas.
Yeah. Can we talk
It's
about?
Atlas.
I want to hear you guys' thoughts in the chat. SMT5 delayed or not? I made a video on it yesterday, and the comment section was very interesting. You guys, did you guys vote on my poll for will SMT5 get delayed or not?
Yeah, I pressed no.
Dude.
It will.
That was.
David. We gonna box over this or something, man?
I can't
Come
put
on.
the bad energy out there.
Dude, hey, 105 people voted on my poll, and we got 50.5% people saying no and 49.5% saying yes. So I want to talk about it. I want people to tell me, do you think it's going to get delayed or not? Every single podcast, when it's not related to SMT5, we're always talking about SMT5 in the end. Damn it. Yes, it's going to get delayed. Go on. I want arguments, please. We're here to talk about it.
I mean, I really see Q1 2022. Atlas has a lot on the plate lately.
Yeah, well, if they delay SMT5 to 2022, 2022, next year is Nocturne and Scramble for now. That's it. That's the thing.
But still, that's a big release. You saw Spencer's video yesterday about Scramble being the biggest selling spin-off Persona game.
Well,
I think it'll sell like crazy here.
Yeah, well, Persona 5 is the best-selling Persona game, so of course it's doing great. I don't want to sound like I'm like underestimating Scramble or anything. It's just what we're gonna get next year if they don't release anything else. It's a spin-off of P5, which. Yeah, it's a big deal, but it's still a spin-off. And then a remaster of Nocturne. It's a small lineup. We got Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Go ahead.
Can I ask y'all a question about the 25th anniversary of Persona?
For sure.
Do y'all see another Persona 5 spin-off happening for that?
That's a very good question. That's a very good question.
I'm surprised we haven't gotten a fighting game yet. Persona 5.
Arena's not happening, bro. It ain't happening, bro.
I don't know, man. It just seems like such a good idea.
It is.
Great idea.
It is a good idea, but the thing is, for
Atlas.
Arena, yeah, the thing is, I don't think Arc System Works would be down to work on it once again because now they have their hands full. They have projects that are doing extremely well, like Dragon Ball Fighter Z, for example. So, do they want to go back and really do a P5 Arena? I don't know. I think the fans would be down, but it's like I don't know. I can see it happening personally, but it would be great though. Don't get me wrong. That would be sick. Persona 4: The Midnight Strikers.
Wonder, like... yeah. yeah.
That sounds great. David Crow, that's a cool idea. The thing is, you know what I would like to see? I would like to see Persona Warriors. That's it. Like all the Persona characters together. That would be amazing. That would be
Are
sick.
we sure? Well, Scramble's been out. Yeah, I mean, do like a Hyrule Warriors Definitive Edition thing, you know?
Yeah.
You know, bring every single Persona characters into a Persona Warriors game. Yeah.
The only issue that I have with this is that they... Obviously, you played Hyrule Warriors, the first one, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the thing is, that whenever you put all those characters together that are not supposed to be together, it's kind of hard to have a good, engaging story. That's the thing. So
yeah.
and
honestly, that's... Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No problem.
Yeah. I was gonna... Because, that's how it was in the original Hyrule Warriors. The story always is just really weird in these kind of crossover games, and even with fighting games. I mean, have you played the Dragon Ball FighterZ story mode?
Nope, haven't.
Yeah, it's basically like your typical, like... Okay, I don't want to say Dragon Ball FighterZ, but, you know, whenever, like, all these characters come together, they have to kind of make their own thing, because if they try to make a story, it really doesn't make sense. They have to kind of come up with something original, you know?
Oh, yeah, for sure. And the problem that I see here is that if it's a bit more general when it comes to the story, I have a problem with this because Persona is a story-focused series. The characters are, like... There's deep stories even in the social links in the Persona games. So to have a Warriors games with all the Persona characters, the story would feel weird. I don't see it how it would be great in the story department.
We're getting a story with all the Persona characters and everything is P5 Arena. Honestly,
because with an arena
Only
game,
comment.
I got to see how they pulled it off with Persona Q.
Persona Q, I've seen a few people telling me Persona Q3 would be great. But I've yet to play the first two games, unfortunately. I should at some point, but with my 3DS, I've been busy with SMT, so it's kind of hard to they're not necessarily my priority, but I've heard only good things about them, so I want to play them at some point. I'm not here anymore.
It's good. It's good. Persona Q1, I'm enjoying. I know a lot of people say all the characters they made one-dimensional and everything, but I'm actually enjoying the interactions with everybody. I put it down after a while because a bunch of games that come out and my backlog is absolutely horrendous right now to look at.
Oh, same.
Oh yeah. But Q1 is a lot of fun. Now the Etrian Odyssey kind of gameplay, first person mapping, everything is kind of weird to me. I'm not a huge fan of it. But, I mean, I think if we ever see a Persona Q collection, and it does well, we will see Persona Q3, but that's the only time we will ever see Persona Q3.
Yeah. And what's the, oh my god, I have a massive blank here. What's the name of the series that Persona Q is based on? God damn it.
Etrian Odyssey.
Etrian Odyssey. Thank you. Okay. What is the Etrian Odyssey team working on at the moment? I don't think we know what they're working on at the moment. Since Q2, I think. We have no clue. So maybe they're working on a collection.
Google.
On what? Sorry?
I'm about to Google that and see what they're up to lately.
I have no clue what they're working on at the moment. So if you find anything, let us know. But it's like, I don't know. I really don't know what to expect. So yeah, maybe. Who knows? Now, will Persona 5 Strikers be the last P5 spin-off? That's an interesting question. I want to say yes, so. But at the same time, yeah, at the same time,
no,
it's so successful. But at the same time, it's just, if they reveal, even if it's just a teaser of Persona 6, do you think people will be ready to move on? Let's say they openly give us a teaser in like March. Persona 6 now in development. Look out for news eventually. That's it. Nothing more. Will people still be hyped if they announce in like June a P5 spinoff? And let's be honest, it's probably not going to be Arena, unfortunately.
So here's the thing. Persona 4 Dancing All Night released in 2015. We're still milking Persona 4 up to 2015. They're definitely not done milking Persona 5 at this point. Now, what the spinoff is going to be, we've already have the dancing game that honestly didn't do well. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't a commercial success. Strikers is the most successful spinoff of all time for Persona games, apparently. Still don't think they're done with the Persona 5 spinoff. Now, whether we get Persona 5, sports game, Persona 5, whatever, Persona 5 2, Electric Boogaloo, I don't know at this point, but but it's still, I don't think they're done with Persona 5.
Oh yeah, and I'm reading the chat right now, and everyone seems to be on common terms saying like they're not done. So I'm curious. I think we have our reasons of why we are pretty sure that Arena's not happening. What's gonna happen next? I've seen a few people mentioning Strikers 2.
I don't know. I think that because Persona 4 Golden had the anime as well as the base Persona 4, we could see that with Persona 5, especially because of how much new extra stuff. That'd be perfect. Well, they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna do it.
Oh yeah, for sure. I can see it happening.
Royal anime.
Oh, but looking at the original, that's a good point.
I like that prediction. I love that prediction right there.
That's an interesting.
Let's go. Let's get into that.
Yep.
Actually.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go in.
I actually have a very weird prediction for the 25th anniversary of Persona because of the resurgence of Golden on Steam. I say, and this is going to be really out of the park, we get a Persona 4 Golden animation dub. Maybe.
Oh yeah.
I'm not sure.
It was never dubbed.
Oh, that's hard. I don't want to give my predictions on that because I don't know what to think. I don't know what to think. That's the thing with the animes. I'm like, what's gonna happen next? Do we really want a royal anime if we look at what we got for the original? Yeah, but I don't know.
Get the original team back,
Persona 5 the animation was absolute ass. Persona 5 the animation was absolute ass. Let's just be
that's the thing. That's what Relax Alex is saying. It's like, nah, it's gonna be trash.
They need to bring back the guys who did the base Persona 4 animation because that one was it looked a lot better than Persona 4 the Golden animation.
Absolutely. Strikers Royal. I don't know what they're gonna do next.
I think that's a joke.
Strikers Royal.
Well, if they just
gonna add Kasumi as a confidant or something.
Well, if they just, I don't know. Even Strikers 2, for example, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. That's the thing. Like I don't. Obviously, I haven't played the Strikers, so I don't know how it ends and everything. But I don't know. I don't know what to expect if they release another Warriors game with only Persona 5. It's hard to imagine.
I will say this. I really don't think they're done milking Persona 5. There's too much money there. Like I said, they were milking Persona 4 till 2015.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
I agree.
Yeah, so 2015 and Golden released in 2011, right? 2011?
Look, I'm looking the Persona 4 Dancing All Night release date right now. Pretty sure it was, let's see here.
But that would mean that
it released June 25th, 2015.
Okay, and the first Persona game was 2008, I think?
Right.
Okay, which means that they milked P4 for 7 years. P5 released in 2016, which means that it would be 2020. How many did I say for 4? Oh my god, my memory's trash.
Okay, from 2008 till 2015 in Japan, they
7
milked
years.
Persona 4 out the ass.
So 2023, if they follow the same trend, 2023 we would stop to get P5 spin-offs.
Enough time for,
I don't
as
know.
the chat is saying, Persona 5 Racing, and I'm here for it.
I mean, we're getting all the suggestions here. Atlas, if you want ideas, let me list them for you. Persona 5 X Puzzle and Dragon.
Shit.
Persona 5 Sports.
Shit,
Persona 5 Shooting. Persona 5 Racing. Persona 5 Apocalypse. We have all of them.
If they made a baseball game, honestly, if they just made a Persona 5 baseball game, baseball is the most boring sport in my opinion, I would play that shit at this point.
Persona 5 Portable. Do you guys remember when they trademarked P5R and P5S? And everyone was like, don't care, P5R, don't care, but
Persona 5.
P5R, P5S is
Switch.
P5 Switch, that's for sure. That was the thing back then. It was P5R is, we don't necessarily care, but P5S is P5 Switch. And when they showed Persona 5 Scramble at first, the reception was bad. Like the first trailer, everyone was mad. Everyone was like, what the hell is a Scramble? We don't care. Warriors game, don't care. That was the reception at first. I'm sure if we can find the first trailer, and I'm gonna go look it up. The reception was bad. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I think it has a lot of dislikes too.
Exactly.
I believe, yeah.
I'm gonna bring it up.
It does.
And look at
And then
where
they
we are
realized
now.
It actually takes place after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
What
like,
gets me is that there was a Best Buy leak at the time for Persona 5 Switch.
yep, I remember.
And I remember that completely. So, did anything come out of that? Was that actually Persona 5 Scramble? Did Best Buy accidentally just post some bullshit or something online? I'm not even sure at this point.
I remember that. I mean, it probably was just for Scramble for the Switch version. But didn't it say Royal? Like, I thought it said Royal, like, specifically. I can't remember. That was a while ago.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. I can't even
Persona
find
5
the...
Royal for Switch. It's confirmed. Riku just confirmed it.
I don't know
Welcome,
when it's
everyone.
happening. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but hey.
If Persona 5 Royal doesn't happen, you can blame Riku.
Oh my god.
You have the footage.
I will.
My
I
man.
will not take responsibility.
Oh man. My man Peter Parker has an amazing 10 out of 10 comment once again with a $3 donation. So thank you very much for that. But his comment is top tier. P5 baseball featuring Junpei Yori Ace Detective. Here we freaking go.
Bro,
Aww.
I'd be all for that shit, honestly.
Junpei looks like a freaking baseballer. He looks like the guy who plays baseball.
I mean, you play Persona 4 Arena, right?
Yeah, yes I did. Just the original one though.
Oh, so you didn't play...
Not
I
Ultimax.
think in Ultimax they really accentuated him being a baseball player, like managing a baseball team or something. I don't
yeah?
remember because the story mode for both of those games was very, very like... Don't remember it whatsoever because it was that forgettable.
Yeah, it's been a while as well, so kind of hard to predict. But going back to P5 spin-offs, if they milk it till 2023, it's hard because I'm thinking of Persona 6 at the same time, and I'm like, they're gonna start to show P6 next year. We all agreed on that. It's gonna be minimal next year, but they're gonna start next year. So if they start next year, there's still 2 years of milking P5. So P6 is here, but they still have 2 years. So sorry. It's hard. It's really hard for me to imagine how they're gonna make it work. I don't want to. It's again. That's the reason why I didn't do a predictions video on the 25th anniversary for Persona, because
Okay, so
I don't know what to predict.
So can I ask this? If you had a spinoff,
David, I'll let you go first. I
even
gotta think about this one.
even the comment section, I would love that. Someone said Persona
Yeah.
5 platform, Persona 5 Judgment. Okay.
But Persona
Royal,
5,
Persona 5.
Persona 5 Cross Phoenix, right? Maybe Ace
I'd
Attorney.
be all over that shit.
Oh yeah, for sure. That sounds like
Joker and
Danganronpa to me.
Fortnite.
Oof.
Joker and Fortnite.
I
Hey,
mean, they got Kratos, so.
that's what I was about to say. Kratos is
They
in.
get Kratos.
Yeah.
Mario's gonna hop on at
Kratos.
some point. Oh man.
They would have to make him tall, and that'd be just scary at that point.
Bro, imagine
Yeah, for
Mario
sure.
just coming on the Fortnite and going, here we go, and then just destroying Kratos.
Imagine like Mario as tall as Kratos with a gun, like. That would feel so weird, bro. That makes no sense.
I'm here for it, though.
Oh man, no, for real, a Persona 5 spin-off. People are maybe they're gonna hate on me for that. I just don't need another Persona 5 spin-off. I'm good. I don't want another one. I'm good.
You don't need it, but Atlas thinks you need it.
Yeah. Do you know what I need? A new SMT spin-off. That's what I need. That's what I need. That's what would make me go crazy. On the PS2, they
Then
got
Tensei 3 dancing all night.
bruh. I don't know what to think about. I do want to see.
Just dancing for specialists.
I do want to see Nemesa dancing though, but overall, there's some characters. Could you imagine Raido dancing to like Your Affection Persona 4? Like, hell yeah, let's go.
I would love that actually. Let's go. I think you got a good thing going here, Dave.
That would feel so weird. I like two
Behind
things
that.
that I'm seeing. Professor Layton X Ace Attorney was amazing. Yep, that was amazing. You're right. One other thing that I like, Persona X Yakuza. Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hell yeah. I want Goro
Isn't that
Majima in
Yakuza Like a
SMT5. No, Yakuza Like a Dragon is Persona with gang members. That's the thing.
Riku, stop, man. Stop. You gotta stop that right now.
Have you guys heard of a game? Have you guys heard of a game developed by Vanillaware? It's like Persona with robots or something. It looks pretty cool.
Yeah,
Persona
that's
with robots,
crazy.
you know, robots thingy.
What's that game?
Looks cool.
I'm not sure. That didn't really get marketed over here.
Not too sure. I think I'm pretty sure that's Persona with robots. It's like a Persona spin-off or something. Like no, Persona.
Dynasty Warriors, basically.
Yeah, Persona has so many spin-offs, like SMT, robots thingy, Yakuza, like so many Persona spin-off nowadays. It's crazy. Crazy.
Hey, technically, we did get a Persona Yakuza crossover because on Persona 5 Dancing, whatever
Oh, yeah.
the hell it was called, Dancing
The
in
skins.
Starlight, we had Yakuza.
Yeah.
Yakuza costumes.
Kiryu costumes and stuff. Yeah, that was cool.
And
Yeah.
I was here.
I
for
can't.
it, too.
Honestly,
I loved it.
I can't think of a Persona 5 spin-off all at once. It's too many things to think of. I keep thinking Persona 5 Racing, but I'm half serious about that. You know, I can't.
Persona 5 2 Electric Boogaloo. I'm here for it.
Persona 5 builders, like in Minecraft. Persona.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
Dragon Quest Builders or something.
Yeah.
Pixelated Joker.
Oh, that'd actually be
everywhere.
an interesting idea.
Be lit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's the thing.
Like a Persona
Everyone
beat 'em
is
up or
saying,
something.
everyone is saying they're gonna make Persona 5 a lot more, but no one is certain of what to expect if they milk it more. That's my issue with it.
But here's the thing: were you expecting a Persona dancing spinoff? Were you
Well,
expecting a
yeah.
Persona fighting spinoff?
Persona 5 dancing makes sense after 4. Like, yeah. Now, Persona 5 Arena would make tons of sense, but we do know that the developer of this game they moved on, so they're probably not gonna go back and do it. So that's out of the way. Now, Warriors game was really unexpected, so there's probably something else, maybe a first-person shooter Joker, you know, freaking Persona 5 zombies and stuff.
Oh my god. Yes. Please. Except the Shadow of the Zombies.
Yes.
I would buy that.
Yes.
I would buy that.
COD Zombies was great.
Bro, if that's happening, we're all playing on stream.
Oh
I'm just
yeah,
saying.
for
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
for
yeah.
sure. It's just really hard to tell because it's weird that everyone's agreeing on the fact that what Persona 5 Doom, Persona 5 Sub-Zero Edition, Persona 5 Walking Simulator, Persona 5 Crossbow Training.
Persona 5 Death Stranding.
What the hell? Oh man, Persona X Sims 3 for DS. Have the craziest chat.
Here for it.
Okay. Persona 5, Persona 25th anniversary. What else could we talk about? I didn't list a bunch of topics for this one because there's lots of things that we can talk about, and it's just speculation. So, if we let's talk more about Persona 6, since I know that's an interesting topic for many. When are we getting the game first? Do you think it's as far as people make it out to be? Do you think it's gonna take as long as Persona 5, for example? You think so? I'm not too sure.
If they're using Unreal Engine, I mean, just like SMT5, I mean, it's gonna take a while, obviously. I mean, earliest I can see it is like 2023, if I'm being realistic, because we have nothing right now. I don't think it's gonna get like super delayed though, like Persona 5. At least I hope not. Man.
Oh yeah.
You know, I was fortunate enough to not really like know about Persona 5 back when it was announced to be coming in 2014, so I didn't have that like heartbreak.
Awesome.
Fortunately. Yeah.
That's great because it was.
Okay, so I agree with you, Rikku, because I started off with Persona in college. I watched the Persona 4 anime at an anime club that I was dragged into, and I really didn't care about anime at the time. And now the longest I've ever had to wait for a game is Persona 5 Scramble, and I'm losing my mind not being able to play it in English right now. So.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because it took them like people freaked out. That's the thing. That's my problem with Scramble. I've heard more people, and I need to empty my heart with it. I've heard more people crying about Scramble. It took 1 year before we got it. Then I've heard people in freaking 4 years crying about SMT5. That's an issue that I have. Do we have someone new here in the chat?
We might.
What's up, Mr. Spencer? How are you doing, man?
Hey, my name is Spencer.
Spencer, Dad.
I didn't know we were doing Team Fortress video here. Yeah.
The guy from
I had
SMT
to
Network.
Sneak on very, very.
I was actually about to just talk about how many people are crying, how many people cried for Scramble. More people cried for Scramble in a year than people
I
cried
heard you
for
say this. Are you saying this like in a people should have been louder about SMT5?
No.
Or people should have shut up about Scramble?
Shut up about Scramble.
Really? Why is that?
No, I think the problem that I have, not necessarily shut up about Scramble. No, that's not what I meant. The thing is, I think there's way too many people, the Persona community are, it's problematic. Like, there's a similar situation between Scramble. Sorry?
Choosing your words very
That's
carefully.
what I'm doing. You see me, right? The thing is, there's more people who complain about Scramble not getting any news for a localization in a year than I've heard people in 4 years complaining about no news for SMT5. And it's a similar situation. It's just, there's no reason, well, we're not getting any news for both. We know that they're gonna happen at some point for both, but there's so many more people who cried about Scramble than about SMT5, if that makes sense. That's what I was saying.
The devil's advocate.
Go ahead.
So
Let's hear it.
Devil's advocate for this one. By the way, I did zero prep work on my end. I'm assuming I sound okay.
Absolutely.
That's good.
Devil's advocate reason, here is the difference, and you are not the only one who had said this. Yes, there are a lot of people out there who are like, oh my god, shut up about Scramble, like, you're gonna get it when you get it, it's not a big deal. SMT5 is a much harder weight, why aren't you guys passionate about that? The problem with it is this. The day that we learned SMT5 was coming out in Japan was the day we learned it was coming out in America. There was no wait for that announcement. The day we got a trailer showing off gameplay footage, that was a worldwide announcement. That everything update-wise for 5 has been kept in the loop. There hasn't been an exclusive TGS trailer that only a couple of people saw. Everything has been very well communicated and universal. The problem with it then going to Scramble, which makes it much harder and a lot more irritating, when Royal was announced, Royal was immediately announced in the States. When Scramble was announced the next day, They literally waited over 500 days to announce it. From April of 2019, when the game got announced, Atlas West said, "Huh? What? Game? No, we're making Royal. We're not making any other game. We're not doing anything else." So then think about it like this: of like, imagine if SMT5 was announced in 2017 in Japan, and it took them until the Nintendo Partner Direct in July this year for us to get it announced in the West. That's really what it was like. Although,
that's fair.
To make it even larger, game has been out for over 7+ months now in Japan, fully out. Soundtrack's out, whole game's out. Spoilers are out there if you want it. Like, you can ingest this entire game, you can import this entire game.
Okay.
Like, name the last time a major game like this has been out without it even being announced. It was just like, I know everyone said it, but like, it was the world's worst kept secret. Like, it was like one of those games of like, put it up there with like Call of Duty this year taking forever to announce, or even that Batman Gotham Knights game. Like, we knew these games were in development for years. No one would officially announce them. It's like your PR is sabotaging itself by not doing their own job.
I guess that wasn't necessarily a fair comparison because of the fact that the game's already out elsewhere, and I 100% agree with what you just said. What I was trying to do is to compare the reaction of both fan bases in regards to not getting any news. But I guess that after hearing your opinion on the matter and the fact that we're talking about a game that's already out elsewhere and them just being completely silent is kind of a big deal. I do agree. Maybe it's the fact that I wasn't necessarily I'm not as hyped as for First Striker as I am for SMT5. That's probably the reason why I'm, reacting that way, if that makes sense.
Spencer, I want your opinion on this right quick. I say that SMT5 gets delayed until next
100%.
year. Atlas has a lot on their plate
100%.
right now. What do you think?
Just the easiest answer of why that's happening for sure. It's literally just, where is the game? Yes, you're saying it comes out next year. Great. Like, think about it like this. For people out there who might be like, nah, dude, it's happening. It's coming out next year. Look at what happened when they announced God of War Ragnarok is coming out on PS5 next year. Everyone's initial reaction, besides, oh, great, another God of War, which obviously we all knew was going to happen eventually. But when we saw that 2021, everyone was immediately like, no. You're not gonna release this game you haven't shown a single second of gameplay footage for in a year. Like, that just doesn't happen. Now, think about, like, I'm saying that for a very competent, enormously large AAA first-party company like Sony Santa Monica. Now, on a way smaller scale, is the team working on SMT5. That team, also a reminder, Atlas has a terrible history at releasing games from small projects like Catherine Full Body to large projects like Persona 5. Of everything they do gets delayed. Whether you know it or not, there are multiple phases of delays that happen, and I just don't feel like we're out of the woods yet for SMT5. Now, obviously, we're going to see a lot of that game, and you're probably to most likely getting gameplay next year. But for a worldwide release, I'm ready to be proven wrong, but I do not see it happening.
I have an issue with the last two things that you said about what I said and about what you just said. You're making too much sense, and I don't want to hear it. That's my issue.
Oh, man.
No, okay, I agree because, yeah, we're lacking information, and a lot of information. The game's coming out it's supposed to come out next year, and we don't have any type of idea of how it's gonna look and run. Like, we've seen nothing. There's been big events recently where they could have shown stuff. You mentioned Tokyo Game Show. Yep, I was expecting stuff at this event. Nothing was shown. It's normal to worry at this point, I think, personally. But do you think, like, with this train of thoughts, the fact that you're pretty certain that we're not going to get the game next year, what do you think they're going to show next year, though, Spencer, for the game?
pretty safe to say that at whatever their next big Nintendo event is, because if you look at all the times we've seen SMT5, it has always been at a Nintendo-centric event. Nintendo has a lot of vested interest in SMT5 because that is one of their first really big exclusive RPGs that's not by a first-party company. Yeah, Fire Emblem's there, but that's a thing that they own in-house with intelligence system. So I think at the soonest you're getting it is June. I think the latest you're going to see something is October, but like obviously that's like gameplay. I'm sure there will be more frequent updates in next year, but the other than thing going up against it is Atlas is almost kind of stepping on their own toes if they show or do too much with SMT5 next year because they have plans for that 25th anniversary of Persona. Like they have already done the work on there, and even though people like me and a lot of people in the community basically think of Persona and SMT as the same thing still, like in Atlas's mind they have shown themselves as being like, no, these are two very separate franchises, and they are.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The thing is, 25th anniversary of Persona, we talked about that before you arrived, and we all agreed that we're gonna see stuff, but we don't think we're gonna see necessarily lots of releases other than what we already know. We do think we're gonna get some small stuff. We think we're gonna get lots of announcements, but not necessarily releases. So would it cause a problem to SMT5 if they show lots of info?
In my head, just because in my head canon right now with the anniversary next year is the anniversary is going to be light on announcements and high on ports. Like I think Atlas is smart enough to know, don't all of your money by announcing projects that are many years off, and instead put your money behind bringing older games that you know will sell like gangbusters on other systems, like you saw with Golden on Steam, and what you will guaranteed see with Strikers on Steam. Like bring that up with other games. Bring it to stuff like Persona, bring it with other stuff like maybe some more of the PSP games, do whatever you want. Like they can go as cheap or as all out as they want. They can just do straight ports, they can do HD remasters. I highly doubt there will be anything actually that crazy out there, but I think if they release maybe 2 to 3 Persona-centric games for a 25th anniversary, that's exceeding their own expectations and will probably net them a lot more positivity than just releasing a teaser trailer for P6, which I do not expect next year.
Wow. Okay, so you're going all in.
He's the one that doesn't think that P6 teaser's happening next year.
It does them no benefit to show it next year.
Okay, so you're coming in.
My teaser back in like 2013, dude.
True, but there's a very important. Like, does anyone here know why Persona 5 was announced in 2013?
I don't know the specific reason, but I'm ready to hear it.
Sega Sammy had just acquired the recently bankrupt Atlas, who was primarily owned by Index before.
That's right.
And at that point in 2013, they had to be like, hey, this company who was making a lot of very expensive games and could barely pay their own bills just went bankrupt. We're going to announce 4 big projects. We're going to announce Persona 4 Arena Ultimax. We're going to announce Persona Q, Dancing All Night, and Persona 5, and everyone's going to shit themselves because like it was just like bam, like they've never done anything like that before, and the only reason they did was because we just spent a lot of money to buy this company. We got to make them seem like they're hot shit. Are most of these games not coming out in any foreseeable quickly time? Definitely not. Is this going to bite us in the ass? 100%. But for something like with a buyout, you just got to make moves like that. It's like, look at the Microsoft buying Bethesda thing recently. What was like the thing they did within 2 weeks of announcing that merger? Hey guys, Doom Eternal, free on Xbox. Even though the deal hasn't even gone through, they're like, hey, this is our big thing. There you go.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I completely overlooked that fact though. So, if you don't think they're gonna announce, well, what we were saying before you arrived is that the game would be shown next year, but some type of very, very, very minimal announcement
No
like they
gameplay
did.
whatsoever.
No, definitely not.
Gameplay.
No chances. I agreed.
Yeah.
If they're not gonna show it, when is it gonna be shown for the first time? Because next year,
I think I think that's still too nebulous, and because you guys are kind of avoiding one of the biggest questions in the room that a lot of people are really quick to talk about P6. Like, I've seen people like make videos about it, where there'd be their channels like, oh, what do you think about this for P6? What do you think about blah blah blah? I guarantee you, more people have thought about P6 this year online than any of the people actually going to develop that game. And the reason I say that is not because they're in say that is because think about it like this: who is making Persona 6?
The team who's working
Atlas.
on Real Fantasy. That's P Studio.
Inside Atlas. Who is the development team
P Studio.
making it at Atlas?
That's P Studio.
Would not be P Studio. P Studio is it's kind of like P Studio is sort of like the sub-studio branch. There are multiple teams inside P Studio. Like, I'm more specifically talking about like departments inside of things, because like basically at Atlas, in terms of internal development, there is P Studio and then Studio Zero. But really, when it comes down to it, there's a couple of teams. Like, look at it with this year. We had the Royal team who'd previously worked on Golden. Like, that was literally, they worked on Golden, and then they helped out with some side development stuff, and then they worked on Royal. Look at the team who made 5. The team who made 5 went from 5, full body, and they're now working on Project Refantasy, which, oh my god, F's in the chat for that happening anytime soon. I'm sure we'll see something about that next year, but like, I would just find it so funny of like Atlas fans are always like, where's SMT 5? Where's Persona 6? Where's Scramble? And then there's like 3 people online, I'm ready for that fantasy game.
Yeah, but Refantasy was announced close to SMT 5, and we don't have way more.
Refantasy is in its own little weird camp of literally the dev team at Studio Zero who made Persona 5, because that game was such a monumental success like everywhere. They basically were just about to be like, hey, the last thing we want to do right now is make another Persona game, so let us just go like batshit crazy. And they're like, okay, give us a half-ass Catherine remake and we'll let you do that next. And they're like, okay, whatever, we'll throw some interns on it. So after they finished Catherine, they pretty much have just been all hands on deck for Refantasy. But even Refantasy is like, they've like said like in interviews they are like, they kind of make it sound a lot more confident of like, hey, let's go, like we've got a great idea, we're really going here, but like we don't know what engine they're working on, we don't even know like target platforms. Like, they say it's coming soon, but like there's a reason it's called Project Refantasy. It doesn't even have a full title.
Yep.
We haven't seen anything outside of concept music and concept art. I'm sure it'll be interesting, and I'm sure it'll be great. Like, that team in Studio Zero, like, they are really good at having a unique vision. But right now, that game is so nebulous still. Even, like, I'm sure if you worked on it, like, I'm sure there is a playable prototype somewhere out there, but there's just like so many questions. Like, I'm looking on the chat, like, you can't like go to a Persona fan or even an SMT fan and say, oh, hey, what do you think about Project Refantasy, and they have them know about it. Like, the Flame Legend 100 in chat is like, what is Project? Yeah, it's like, what is this game?
Yeah.
Like, you don't, like,
yo, I can't blame him.
I can't even make that person feel bad.
No,
like, dude, like, yeah, there's like been barely any info about it unless you're really digging for it.
Can't blame him.
So going back to the whole like who's making stuff, like, think about this. Like, the team who worked on TMS was working on TMS Encore this year. Like, teams have just kind of been, like, all over the place. So I don't really expect the team... Because, like, one of the reasons I was saying P Studio split up is, think about it like this. P Studio made Royal, and P Studio also made Dancing. Those games were being developed at, like, the same time. So it's different teams kind of being split up. Like, you're not going to see... no one's going to be jumping at the seams with confidence if you say, from the makers of Persona 5 Dancing and Persona 5 Royal come Persona 6. Like, I'm sure the team specifically on the Royal side can really, like, kick some ass, but, like, it's just one of those things of, I think something like Persona 6, it has nothing to lose by waiting longer and having a stronger debut. Like, think about if you took out all of those original announcement trailers for even SMT 5 and Persona 5. Get rid of the dumb chair trailer, get rid of the dumb Unreal Engine 4 trailer, get rid of all the dumb CG trailers that really don't actually matter, and just do this. Have your first trailer for SMT 5 be that one we saw in July this year. Have your first trailer for Persona 5 be the one that we saw back in like 2015 that actually had gameplay. If you have your debut trailer be that, like, out the gate, like, boom, here you go, everyone has your attention and everyone believes that game is happening a lot quicker.
Yeah, I agree
But
with
here's the
that.
thing with SMT5. It's obviously we haven't had any updates on it at all since that Nintendo Direct. So I still think it's not happening next year whatsoever. So, I mean, I think I'm the only one in the stream so far, other than you, Spencer, that has thought that and that has defended that whatsoever. So I just wanted to get your opinion on that right quick. Why exactly is SMT5 going to be delayed? For people that haven't seen anything that you've posted lately.
I would say the biggest factors, Nintendo's going to hold them back, in not in a negative way. Nintendo has obviously shown initiative more than even Atlas West have. Of they know that this game being a worldwide release is going to be important for them. They know having a staggered release in Asia and then going into the Western countries is going to hurt it in terms of sales. And Nintendo just knows like there's a power, like it's almost like a power play move when you have a worldwide release. Like look at something like Strikers. Strikers, half of its entire identity is behind how long it took to get it announced. No one in the Hyrule Warriors like fan base was ever complaining because guess what? We learned about that game 3 months ago, and guess what? It released worldwide everywhere and without a hitch. Like Nintendo just knows how to make that stuff happen. So the reason why I think that would be a problem is obviously Atlas West is still going to be involved in some way. I'm sure it's mostly just going to be from a localization side with Treehouse helping on the efforts. The big thing about that though is I'm guessing the way workflow has worked primarily at Atlas in terms of Atlas Japan, this game is pretty much going to be ready fall 2021 for only Japan. And Nintendo is going to say, cool, you're not releasing it until next year, and we're going to make it a worldwide release. Because let's be honest, Japan at the end of the day is still, even though it is a large amount of their fan base, that worldwide release is only going to bolster everything. So Nintendo's just going to be like, cool, you guys can wait, because having it released for every like no one would ever be like, oh man, like no one's ever like been on the other side of things being like, oh dude, release it early so other people can't play it at the same time. Like I think everyone can universally get behind the idea of saying a worldwide release is universally good, so obviously just hold it until it's ready. Like if you're updating your fans on a good enough side, it's like you have nothing to lose for it.
Okay, I think we talked about that before the last time that you were on the show, but the game, the fact that you think, correct me if I'm wrong, but from what I remember, the reason why you think they showed the game in July is because they want to push Nocturne, right?
100%. Not the only reason Nocturne is really a game at all is to market SMT5. Because just remember, it didn't go SMT5 trailer and then Nocturne. It went Nocturne and then SMT5. The entire
Not in Japan,
reason
though.
for that game existing is just to promote SMT5.
In Japan,
now,
it was the opposite.
It came to other platforms, but it's just one of those things that it's to get SMT back into prevalence. Because guess what? There hasn't been a proper new SMT game since Apocalypse back in 2016.
Yeah. So it's been 4 years already. 5 years if it releases next year, and 6 if it releases 2022. So that's like twice the delay.
Redux. I don't count you as a new game.
Yeah, well, it's a port. So it's just the delay from 4 to 4 Apocalypse was 3 years. So it would be the double the time from Apocalypse to SMT5 if it releases 2022. Mm-hmm. It might happen. Who knows? Now, everyone.
And this kind of goes into something that I've been talking a little bit recently. I'd be curious what you guys think. Now that we have Striker's release date, one of the things people haven't really been talking about, I'm fully expecting Nocturne HD to get pushed out of spring next year. I do not think it's coming in spring now.
Because of Scramble?
Not because of Scramble. I think Scramble definitely gives it some motivation as to not release too close to each other. Mm-hmm. But think about it like this. Right now, Atlas Japan still has absolutely no formal plan or even communication for why... for when Nocturne Remaster is getting patched. They've announced they're investigating a patch, but they haven't committed to it. They haven't said, hey, we're working on this issue, we're working on this issue. Right now, they're learning what they need to fix, which makes me think that they're very far out from actually getting a patch into people's hands. And let's be honest, right now, rushing Nocturne HD out as the state it's in for the rest of the Western country.
Not
in Japan, it was a lot easier to sell them on it because guess what? No one had their hands on it besides people promoting the game. Now, when the Western release comes out, people are going to be like, oh, isn't it that broken PS2 game that everyone dogged on last year? Like, in the West, it's going to have a lot harder of a time, like, A, getting attention, and B, selling with the reputation it has now.
Okay, I agree. I have a question, though, with what you just had, because I mentioned something before, the fact that they said they're investigating it. What I think, the way that I think it's going to release in the end is, it's going to be the same port, it's just going to work now. I don't think they're going to add massive changes like to the fusion system or like correct the screen ratios and the cutscenes and stuff like that. The frame rate might be corrected, but I think they're gonna keep it extremely minimal once it releases here. It's just not gonna be considered broken anymore, but it's still gonna be considered a very, very, very minimal port. That's my opinion, but I want to hear your opinion as well. We talked about that before.
It's tough. I would love them to, like, honestly kind of use this moment of being in the dirt to like really look at the project and be like, hey, we're selling something called HD remaster. Let's make that mean something. Like, because when I'm making videos and when I'm showing people the game and they're just saying, oh, so I'm just better sticking with the PS2 emulated copy, like that should make you feel embarrassed. Like, that's bad.
Yeah.
It's not a remastered at this point. It's a re-release, and some people, in the state that the game is right now, some people are saying that it's a lesser game than the original version. So, at this point, it's like, why call it a remastered?
Spencer and Gnarly really nailed it on the head when they said that it was just put into Unity and just shoved out to the public with no effort whatsoever.
Pretty much. That's pretty much it. I mean, they kept it as minimal as possible, and I think that's what they're gonna do with the work that they're investigating of what they need to do. I think they're gonna make the game and they're gonna correct it for it to run correctly. It's still a PS2 game, and it's even on Switch, it's supposed to run perfectly fine. I mean, it's not a demanding game at all. With the right optimization, there's no reason why it would drop like it does at the moment. So, again,
what's ridiculous is that it runs the exact same way on PS5. No improvements whatsoever.
Oh,
Nothing.
yeah.
Just
that is probably the weirdest thing about the port. I really don't understand that.
So, like, one of the real key factors behind that was basically when, oh my god, I always forget their name. It's like ITL, Imaginative Technical, like, Land or something. The developer behind it, basically, they made the Unity wrapper work for PC, PS4, technically PS5 through backwards compatibility, and Switch. But they were using the Switch as the basically lead platform, which means that nothing ever exceeded the Switch's performance compatibility. So no of the like glitches, slowdowns, or whatever are at fault because of the hardware. It's basically just due to these known shippable bugs.
It's not necessarily a game that would benefit that much from it. You don't need to play this game in 120 FPS. It's not a Devil May Cry, or it's not. It's a third.
No, but I mean, look
RPG.
at what even the pretty bare bones port Square Enix does for their games. They put things that are like, hey, do you want to be grinding in Final Fantasy 10 or 12? Well, there you go. We're gonna put like a 120 like speed mode in where you can just make everything go faster, but the music still sounds the same, so that way you're not having to hear like chiptune versions of everything. Like even like those ports at least give you those options if you want it to be there.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. It's just. It's not something that I'm like, when I don't have this type of feature, it's not a deal breaker for me. I just, when they're there, it's like, cool,
no one
but
needs to play like Nocturne over 30 frames, but it's like, these are the little things they could do to at least try and differentiate it, and even that they didn't really try and push it past. Like,
well, it's like Persona 5 or Persona 5 Royal at 60 frames. Yeah, it's perfectly playable in 30 FPS, but come on, it's new hardware. It's something that we should expect from new-gen consoles. I mean, it's... You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like when you're playing Royal, if you're being critical about it and you're being honest with yourself, at the end of the day, the game that we all played in Persona 5 Royal, nothing was stopping that game from being on a PS3. That game was still a PS3 at its core.
Yep.
Yes.
And I had an argument with someone on Twitter once. It was saying that vanilla Persona 5 could run on Switch, but not Royal. I was like,
Which is bullshit.
Yeah.
what? That doesn't make any sense.
Well, I think one of the weird things with it was I remember when Royal got announced, one of the things that just got automatically assumed from a lot of people was that people assumed, oh, it's only on PS4. The PS4 Pro is already out, so obviously Atlas is going to use the PS4 Pro, make it run in 4K, and maybe it'll even have better performance. But if you look at the back of your box for Royal, there is no PS4 Pro enhancement feature. The game plays the exact same on both. Yes, it will up-res to 4K. That is your PS4 super sampling. That is not the game doing anything. Those are still 1080p assets just being bolstered up to 4K. Because I had that happen a lot in my PlayStation on PS5 video of people being like, no, my game's at 4K. And it's like, no, just because your TV says it's at 4K doesn't mean the game is natively running at 4K. And obviously, with the game is stylized like that, does it really matter in the end? Of course not. But it's just one of those things of like, when you then play a game that is naturally running at 4K, like even something like the dancing games. Those dancing games run at 60 and 4K really, really nice and look really, really great. And even something a little more action heavy, and even though it looks a little bit different engine-wise, like when you're playing Strikers in 64K, that looks nice. That looks different. Like you can't go back to Royal or Vanilla and be like, yep, these are the same.
That's fair enough, because at the end of the day, it's similar style. It's even if the game is very different, similar style, same characters, same everything. So you cannot not compare them. It's like, yeah, I think it's just normal to look at them and compare them. But at the time, it was
Spencer. Spencer, you've had a lot of experience with Strikers on the PS5. So I just wanted you to say to the audience right quick who's listening to this podcast is obviously about Persona 5 Strikers getting announced and stuff. How do you think it performs on the PS5 compared to like the PS4 and Switch and stuff? I think it runs like a dream, honestly.
Yeah, it's like when you go, it's like you can't go back. Rikku, I just because I know the least about you out of everyone here, do you have a PlayStation 5 yet?
I do not yet. I'm still with the PS4, base PS4.
Okay, so like, I had to go back and boot up my PS4 for like transferring some saves and stuff around, and when I was doing that, I was messing around with it for maybe like at max an hour or two, and the menus slogging it, game slogging it. It was like, whoa, man. It's like, because I'm doing direct comparisons for different things, and like just jumping into Scramble, you think, okay, well, PlayStation 4 to Switch, that makes sense. Technically, is a very vast difference. What are you really getting from PS4 Pro to PS5 that you can't really get on either? And it really comes down to consistency of the graphical fidelity and the resolution with the frame rate. But the big one for me that like I just could not get back to anymore was the loads. And because Scramble / Strikers has so many load screens, like it has a ton. And one of the most interesting things about it is it's when you're going in between these little miniature areas in each jail, and those really add up. And even if something's going to be like 5 to 10 seconds or even maybe 15 to 30 seconds in between levels, that's really going to slow down the pace of your game. Whereas opposed to when you're playing it on PS5, because that NVMe SSD hard drive, it's just fade to black, into the game. Like it's a 1 second load. You're in and out, which is just, for a fast-paced action game like that, that makes a world of difference.
The immersion, man. It's the fact of the immersion, man. If you're loading 20 seconds on Switch, it just takes you right out of the game, in my opinion. I mean, that's not a knock against Switch. I love my Switch, but it's not meant for that. I think it's a Koei Tecmo engine just showing it's not capable for like Switch load times and stuff like that.
Well, I always think it's funny when people are like, hey, look at how bad Scramble is compared to PS5. Koei Tecmo doesn't make Switch versions to be compared to PS5. Like, you're supposed to look at the Switch version and go, whoa, that's really cool that they ran that on such old NVIDIA hardware.
Exactly.
But, like, the thing you're supposed to look at it is to be like, look at the Switch version, it's like look at the Switch version and be like, that's really impressive that they could get that out of a Tegra chip. And then you're supposed to look at the PlayStation 4 version and go, wow, like this is this game running on all like cylinders. Like it doesn't make one version of the game look better or worse. So like that's why I always kind of find it funny that, like, a good example, like I'm a big fan of Faz, and when Faz did their video showing off the game, the only thing Faz showed was the load times. I'm like, that's like, yeah, that's great as a selling point for PS5. That's not what that game is like trying to sell. Like, you're not supposed to look at the like load times and be like, that's your comparison. I would say, hey, look at how well this still runs on the Switch, you know?
Oh yeah. I played the demo on Switch, and it still runs pretty good. I still had a lot of fun with it. In fact, I still plan on getting it on Switch when it does release in February. I'm going to get it on PS4 and Switch, and it still runs very good. But I think people just look at the load times and go, "Oh, the PS5 version is so much better," but it's the SSD that's at work. It's not really a fair comparison. Honestly.
No, and it's like, and I just try and be fair in that sense of like, remember there are people out there who might even have a PS5 who will still go for the Switch because just having the ability to play something like that portably, it just gives a lot of extra factors. Like even look at something like Age of Calamity. I know, like David, you like had a lot of like technical gripes with it. Yeah. But like when I was going through my spoiler cast today with it, I kept reveling in the fact of like, yeah, it has really long load times, it has really long performance like issues, but man, that never took away from the fun of playing this game. And the fact that it is a game that I can play on my TV, can play co-op, can just do like
that's worth a lot.
Like, yeah, like that, like those concessions were never enough to like damper the game. And people will look at something like Scramble and be like, I'll take the load screens to play it on something like Switch.
Exactly.
Which I think is just a big test. I mean, like I'm someone who has games like I love playing Catherine on Vita. Is Catherine on Vita the best version? God no. But guess what? As a technical like showcase,
big fan.
Like as a technical showcase, like Catherine on Vita is just like, I love showing that to people because A, most people don't even know Catherine even came out on Vita, but B, just because it's like when you look at that game, it's like, wow, that is just straight up like that is Catherine full body running at the exact same frame rate on a Vita, like portably. Like that made it so cool, which then hilariously actually kind of made the Switch version less impressive. But I guess if you didn't know the Vita version was real, then I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah, and the portable play for me, it just doesn't get old. Like, even if it's, just like you mentioned, old technology with the NVIDIA chip and stuff like that, it's like, I played most of Age of Calamity portable. Even if I have a 4K TV and I have a PS5 hooked up, it's just, I like it. I like to be able to lay down in bed and just play for an hour before I go to sleep. It's fun, and it has value to me. Now, a game that's extremely, like, I'm not gonna buy, for example, a game like The Witcher because The Witcher 3 on the Switch, because even if it runs well and stuff, it's just the type of game that I want to see. I want to have the best performance if possible, and I have a Series X, I have a PS5, like I have everything that I need to get the best experience performance-wise that I can. So I'm not gonna get a Switch version, but it's still great for those who want to play those games on the Switch, for example. And portable play, it doesn't get old. So I'm definitely gonna buy Nocturne and Strikers on Switch. I want to play those games portably, especially those slow RPGs like Nocturne, especially Nocturne.
Yeah, I agree with that. It depends on the kind of game, like JRPGs and all that. If I'm gonna spend like 100+ hours, and I'm probably just gonna get it on the Switch. But a game like The Witcher, like you said, it's like a really technically impressive game on the PS4, PS5, and all that. I'd like to just experience all of that like on the big screen. It really just depends on the game for me.
And when I played P5, the first time, I played a lot of it through remote play. Because it's the type of game, and I definitely don't want to go into the whole P5 Switch debacle or anything. It's the type of game that while playing, like sitting down on my couch, it's so slow and stuff. I was like, I wish I would be able to just go in another room and play it, or bring the game with me at work. Or
well, Spencer, didn't Spencer say something about Persona 5 originally also being made for Vita as well? I could have sworn he said
so. Initially in the early stages, so remember Royal had a PS Vita version planned at one point, but Royal was also a system that was in development for over 3 years, And one of the things about that, it kind of suffered from 13 Sentinel syndrome in terms of getting canceled on Vita because of how much sales had slowed down come 2019. Atlas ended up canceling more publicly 13 Sentinels on Vita, and also it canceled Persona 5 Royal, which was never really officially known, but like there were a lot of concessions that were made to the game, hence why you can, going back to what we're saying of like, it's still pretty technically limited. There's nothing really that grand in scope that they're doing. And even looking at other things of like, they added some voice stuff, but there still is like, it'd be pretty easy for them to have brought a compressed version out. But I just think once Atlas saw how much users had kind of been moving away from the Vita in Japan, and then the very low sales of Catherine on Vita, they were kind of like, okay, I think it's time to call it there. Which, to be fair, I think they still would have had a slam dunk, probably more so with both of those last two games, just because I think an adventure game, very story heavy, like 13 Sentinels, would have done and performed really, really well, even more so than the PS4 version in Japan. And even with Royal, I think a lot of people would have been impressed just by the ability to have that portably. And like the guys at like Atlas are just such technical wizards, but unfortunately their last couple of Vita games they developed natively in Japan and Atlas were just technically impressive, but we're never going to like blow up the mainstream. So look at something like Catherine Full Body, that doesn't appeal to the mainstream even with the niche in Japan. Look at Persona 3 and 5 Dancing. Amazing visual looking games. Those are great like versions on Vita, and even comparing it to the PS4 version, again, not going to appeal to everybody, and all three of those games definitely suffered sales wise. That probably scared people away from it. So the famed Vita version that no one really ever knows about is never going to get much attention, but yeah, was one of those things that got pretty far along in development, but was an easy thing for them to cancel.
Oh yeah, for sure. And another game.
I got a question for you, Spencer. Since Catherine Full Body didn't do well on the Vita in Japan, what made them release it on the Switch?
So,
like, did they?
So that one is really interesting because I'm actually trying to find that out now. So the developer behind it, Technical Arts, I'm trying to currently go about like getting them in for an interview. After I did my video, I actually like heard back from somebody at the team by some miracle. So I'm trying to find that out now, but getting interviews set up through Atlas is just such a pain. So if that ever happens, awesome. If the very least, I'll hopefully try and find something off the record. But right now, my big question I'm trying to find out was this Atlas coming to Technical Arts, or was this Technical Arts coming to Atlas? And because of how they are, I'm guessing it was Atlas Japan coming to them. But the least I can say is I know it was not a Western like initiative. It was definitely a Atlas Japan initiative. But there are just so many little things up there. Like even one of my biggest surprises was like until I did my video, so many people for years just assumed, oh yeah, Atlas Japan just did the Switch version. Because yeah, you just think, I mean, I guess they did it. Like they're not going to say they didn't do it unless you go and look at the credits yourself.
Great point. Question in the chat, Super Gamer Guy asks, is Persona 5 Strikers coming to PC in Japan too? Probably.
So with Steam, I've noticed a lot of people talking about that. With Steam, it is a worldwide platform. So it's just going to like natively just be up there, like how when games get brought onto like the PlayStation Store on PS5. So yeah, like for Steam, they don't really got to make a big deal. PC gaming is continuously getting bigger in Japan, but the market is definitely a lot higher on Western PC markets than compared to Japan, just because having a giant computer is still a lot like more of a kind of luxury item than even owning something like a Switch or even a PlayStation 4 or 5.
Oh yeah, I can see that. They have like very different. That's the thing. Portable play is big in Japan. It's very big. We can see it with the numbers that the Switch is doing every month.
Portable play is big with me, man. I'm always on the go. So I mean, I'm still going to buy Persona 5 Strikers Switch. I mean, even though I'm going to own the PS4 version as well, I mean, that's a portable version that I can play at any time. I mean, it's a slam dunk.
Yeah. And between those two games, Strikers and Nocturne, if I had to choose, like I would pick Strikers on. If I had to choose one system, one game max, that would be Strikers, PS4, and Nocturne, Nintendo. Personally, because of the type of game that it is. But again, just like you, I'll double dip twice for both of the games. I'll buy Nocturne on the two systems.
Because we're simps for Atlas. Basically.
Yeah, that's a thing. Now, since you joined a bit later, Spencer, we would like to hear you told us about Persona 6. We would like to hear your predictions for the 25th anniversary. You mentioned ports?
Yeah, so my sort of like little rundown of this, just to not take up too much time, is realistically P4 and whatever else they're doing with P3, that leaves Steam and comes to consoles for whatever consoles they choose to be, whether it be PS4 and Switch. Hopefully they branch out a little bit more. I especially think like those older ports would be perfect for Game Pass of just like destroying in terms of grabbing attention. Like just look at something like this week.
Dragon
like literally today, Dragon Quest 11 just came out. Dragon Quest 11S came out on Game Pass on PC and Xbox, and I'm like,
fucking huge right now.
Yeah, like something like that, just being like a free game you can pay like a $5 to $10 subscription a month for is amazing.
Yep.
And I think Persona would equally dominate on those platforms, even though they've primarily ignored them. So I think those are just a shoo-in. If it had to get absolutely crazy, my like crazy will it into existence, but still kind of realistic answer would be a Persona Q collection. So just be Persona Persona Q 1 and 2. Include everything you want on there, and if you really, really want to be cool and earn a lot more money, finally dubbed Persona Q2, and everyone will be happy.
I want to ask you guys, all 30 people in the chat right here, if you expect ports of Persona 4 Golden and Persona 3 on the PS4, Switch, whatever the hell you want to put it out on, why hasn't it happened by now? Because obviously the Steam port has had so much success. So why wait until now? Would it happen around the same time as Scramble? Would it happen after that? What do you think?
I think Atlas had... it took them a long time to realize that there's a market for their game on other systems. Like, I mean, they were surprised.
It's ridiculous.
They were surprised that Golden did well on Steam. They told that openly to everyone. They're like, oh yeah, we were surprised by the success. We will now start to consider putting our games on other systems, other platforms, and more to support the Steam more now. And they realized that recently, so it's like, I think that's the reason why they just realized. I think, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with that too. I think they kind of just figured out somehow. I don't know why it took Persona 4 Golden on Steam for them to realize that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
That's Atlas, but
it shouldn't take that. It shouldn't take a guinea pig to realize, oh my god, all these people that aren't on specifically PlayStation, like my cousin who rooms with me. He's always been an Xbox guy. He brought Persona 5 on a whim for like $7 and loved it. Well, it's more of that on Xbox right now. He has a PlayStation 4, but he doesn't play as much as his Xbox. Like, why would it take them so much time to realize, oh, if we put our games to other consoles, it's going to sell?
I mean,
would you guys like to know the actual answer? Because I do have the actual answer. Why they're not.
I'd love to know the actual answer.
Yeah, I want to know.
Bring it, Spencer.
Please.
So the easy answer is not like a fun one. It's literally just a business and dumb move. So the easiest way to know what the reason is for it is look at Bayonetta and Vanquish. Bayonetta and Vanquish released on Steam 2017. Those games did not release on PS4 or Xbox.
They released this year.
On Switch. Bayonetta was on Switch.
Well, I'm specifically talking about the Steam version. The version that came out this year of Vanquish and Bayonetta on PS4 and Xbox are just straight up the Steam version. Mm-hmm. Just because Bayonetta on Switch is very much specifically that the Switch version is the Wii U version, not the Steam version. And what's so funny about it is they had that port done literally like years before they released it this year. And the only reason they held it is, what did they call it as? They didn't sell it at retail split up into two. They split it. They combined both, and they called it the Platinum 10th Anniversary Edition because they waited for an anniversary and they waited for them to bundle both into a $40 package so they could put it on retail with a pretty cool steelbook, mind you. So Atlas, also being Sega because they're the same company, is basically just doing this. Hey, why rush out a console version? Because also, there was not a ton of time in terms of developing the Steam version. Why rush this out? Let's just make it a surprise Steam release, because why not? It's a slow summer for us. Let's do that. Hold the console version till the 25th anniversary, rake in even more money and get it to double dip. Because I know a lot of us in here are saying, oh, I'm going to buy every version of every platform I have for all these games, even the platforms I don't have, I'm going to buy it. But think about for your average consumer.
Yes.
What if someone loves Persona 4 and says, well, I don't need to buy it multiple times, but they waited 8 years and then bought it on Steam. They're like, well, it's been 8 years, let's go play it. Yeah. And then what if then on the 25th anniversary, all their friends are talking about Persona 4 on Switch or on PS4 now? They're like, oh, dude, do I need to buy it a third time? Well, I do want to see what it's like running on the Switch. So that's how you get people to slowly buy more of it. And just because it's part of an anniversary event, you kind of have that FOMO of just look what Nintendo did with whether it be Fire Emblem or Mario with the 35th anniversary. So they're really just holding their cards because they're like, listen, we could have released Persona 4 Golden on PS4 and Switch this year, but why not just wait until we can charge you a more expensive package with other games, and then we can put it to retail and market it as part of our anniversary event.
That makes a lot of sense. If you look at the whole time that you were talking, I had Capcom in mind. When you re-release your games every single time for every single system, they lose value at some point. Resident Evil 4, for example, is on every single system available. You can play RE4 on a microwave at this point. So that's the thing. Yes. Their value is not there anymore. If they port and if they do a native port, it wouldn't make sense with backwards compatibility necessarily. But if they release a native port RE4 on PS5, for example, the sales wouldn't be as impressive as if they do it, as if they do a game that was never re-released before. That's for sure. So if they give it time. Makes sense.
Do you really need a PS5 port at this point?
No, exactly.
PS4 ports.
Exactly. So my point didn't work for PS5 necessarily because the game's on PS4 already, but you get what I'm saying. It's just when you re-release the game every single time, it loses value. It's more exciting when, it's been 8, just like Spencer said, it's been 8 years since I played P4. I think it's fair to just rebuy it now. Now freaking Mega Man 3, you can buy it and play it on every system. So it's not worth as much, I think. If that makes sense.
I understand. Also, to be a absolute Debbie Downer, I have to slowly start getting off. I'm not immediately leaving right now, but I figured if you guys have any other questions or anything you want to either send my way from chat or just personal, just let me know. I'll break embargoes. You guys want to know about Puyo Puyo Tetris 2? I'll tell you whatever you want to know about. But I've been up for I'm running off of 4 hours of sleep. I've done 50 videos today.
Spencer, you had 200 views. I rolled over at 1 o'clock in the morning because people tagged me on Twitter about strikers, and you were having a fucking live stream with 200 views. That's fucking impressive, bro. Congrats to you.
I would have been as excited with 2 people in the chat. Today has just been a giant fever dream of. It feels like today for me, and this just sounds so weird as just someone who's just a huge advocate for this game specifically. Today has just felt like vindication the day. Even the my biggest negative of today has been Atlas's tweet acknowledging it, quote unquote acknowledging it. I think that's the most quintessential Atlas thing ever of oh cool, even though everyone knows your game, turn off replies. That's a good look.
I was about to say, man, I was about to say they turned off replies for that tweet, man. They're saying this thing is coming, we're giving you information December 8th, correct? Right before the Game Awards, but they're saying you can't reply to this shit. We're going to pretend you don't know what the fuck is happening right now.
Yeah, pretty much. Oh boy. Noah, do you guys have anything else to ask? Personally, for me, we talked about lots of things that I wanted to talk about, and I think I'm good with the subjects that we talk about. It was really interesting. Is there anything else?
I will ask Spencer. I will ask Spencer right quick, since he was the only one that didn't answer this question. How did he learn about the Persona 5 Strikers leak?
Oh, okay. So, I actually went over this. I was the 5th view of that video. I got a heads up on my Strikers video yesterday. I did talking about the 500,000 sales, and someone just commented, and I was just on my phone. I was watching my wife play like Fortnite or whatever, and someone commented saying, "Yo, they just released the video. Like, check it out right here." And I looked at it, and I had to do like a triple take of like, "Oh, this is like fake," because I didn't press play. I just loaded it up. And I saw I was the 5th view, and it had been up for 12 hours. And I'm like, this seems really weird. Like, it's been up for 12 hours, and this is actually from Atlas. How am I, like, the 5th view? And then I saw it was unlisted, and all the little things added up for it. And then when I watched it, I didn't even watch it before I recorded it. I recorded it for my first initial watch, because I immediately knew. I was like, this is getting taken down. I know how it leaked. Like, I know how, like, the trailer leaked for it. And what was so funny about it was, as soon as I had watched it, before I even gave opinions, I just screenshotted that end screen, and I posted it up. And if you know, now I'm not obviously one of those people who's like, oh, I've got to be first. What's funny about it, I think the most retweeted picture of that screenshot is that Wario 64 one. And like, even if like you looked at Twitter,
That's how
like,
I learned about it. That's how.
If you look, I actually tweeted that like 15 to 20 minutes before Wario even did. And I even had the video up before he had tweeted out that image. And what was so funny about that was like, it was just one of those things that I know how the internet was going to kind of like slowly roll this out. I was like, no one has tagged me. No one is blowing up about this. Nobody really, like I said, I was the 5th person who had seen this thing. Just from a comment, because I'm way too much on my phone, apparently, looking at every comment I get as it rolls in. And God bless that person in the comment for like giving me like a heads up. But it was just so funny of like, immediately watch it, immediately record it, immediately put it up. Like, that's why if you go to my channel where I have the video still up there, it's literally, I spammed the keyboard. I was like, ah! Also, it's coming out here on the And what's even better about that is that then if you go to YouTube and you type in Persona 5 Strikers, I am the first trailer, which means I was the first person to upload that besides Atlas, who's now obviously took it down. And it was just one of those things of like, I just knew that I had to put this out there, and it wasn't like, oh, I wanted the fame, I wanted the notoriety, being the first one out there. Even though it's like my most viewed video out there, it doesn't matter. I'm not making any money on it. I'm just happy to spread the word of this game, because Atlas West doesn't deserve to keep fucking up the reputation of this amazing game. That's why I'm like, dude, there's not like, and even my wife, this was so funny. My wife looked at me and she's like, wait, are they gonna get mad if you post it on your channel? I'm like, what NDA did I sign? They're doing I'm marketing this game better than they are. What are they gonna do to me?
You don't have any fucking thing to do with this game, bro.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I've been marketing this game for free since the moment like it was announced last year. So like, I'm like, listen, if I get it stricken off my channel, I can take the copyright strike. And to my thanks for them, they have not, at least to my knowledge, they have not claimed or copyrighted like anything that was going on. So at least they're being good sports in that sense. So the entire thing for me was just such a fever dream of get the knowledge out first, get the knowledge out fast, and just because like, this is just how it went. I got it, I recorded it, I sent the screenshot, I uploaded the video, and then I just went and did that live stream for 2 hours. Because I had promised people months ago that I was like, if this game gets announced, I'm doing a live stream party. And I'm going to just go as long as I can. And I literally streamed as long as I could until my computer just died halfway through the stream. And then once it died, I was like, it's 3 a.m. I got to get some form of sleep. So that was my very long and laborious journey of going from the 5th viewer of that video to me still like having a shit-eating grin on my face from it.
And you're here. That's amazing.
How did you get Gnarly and Ozzy at the same time? All of that, dude. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning when I rolled over, and y'all had just barely began.
So there is a basically like a chat thing I have for them on my phone. I just messaged both of them and I said, "Holy shit, Scramble finally leaked. I'm going to just loop the trailer. Whoever wants to join me, come join me." So Ozzy joined me first. I was literally going to call Gnarly, but I guess Gnarly was in like the opposite of my chat. Of like, I think Gnarly told me he was in a chat with Filthy, Blasphemer, LaRue, and Simply Dad, and I laughed immediately as soon as I heard that, just because I'm like, those are like the opposite of people who would get shit their pants hyped for it. Like, I am like the opposite of Simply Dad in terms of Scramble hype. Like I don't think I could pay Simply Dad to care about Scramble, which I just thought was so funny. But yeah, just the entire thing was just like he then came over to it and wanted to talk about it, because one of my favorite streams I did with Gnarly last year, because he knows how big of a Warriors fan I am, he invited me to do a gameplay live reaction with him for when they did that first announcement gameplay trailer, I think back in November 2019 in Japan. And that's like when like the hype for that game really got a lot more real, when people saw it less so as a Muso and more so as an actual like Persona action game. So like I was just really lucky to have like any of them on. Again, I would have done it by myself. I would have done it with the chat room with like 2 people in there. I could have gone for myself. It didn't matter. I was glad so many people joined. It was just so jolly. And the fact that that video has like over 5,000 views is insane for something that I did like no effort into besides just freaking out.
That's fair. Man, I can't believe you're still up. We're not going to keep you that long anymore. I don't know if you guys have any other questions. I want to say thanks for coming over, man. That was great. You have
Spencer, man.
You have courage. I would have skipped it personally. I'm not as courageous as you are. That was a big day, but I mean, just as I told you on Twitter, it's a Scramble announcement, and you're the Scramble guy, so it was to be big day. That was for sure.
But is he the Catherine 3 Xbox 360 guy?
No, he's a fake fan.
I say he's not.
Fake fan indeed. You are
I'll
get called out where I am. I mean, let's be real. I didn't even spend my entire day doing everything Scramble. I had the audacity to say, you know what, in between doing multiple podcasts and live streams about strikers, let's do a Age of Calamity spoiler cast that nobody asked for.
Unacceptable.
Why not?
Unacceptable. No, honestly, it's cool, but
how dare you do what you want to do, Spencer?
I'm gonna pop Catherine in my Series X tomorrow, and I'm gonna record footage on it, so we're gonna all be able to see how it performs. So I'm gonna try to do it tomorrow, though. I want to do it soon.
For it.
So
well, thank you guys for A, doing this so long, and B, letting me drunkenly stumble in here. King, obviously, it was nice talking to you again. Rikku, it was nice meeting you. You are a very quiet man. I appreciate how stoked you are.
It's nice to meet you too, bro.
Had to think about it. I understand, man. Also, how's the journey to 1K going?
Oh man, almost there. 55 more to go. I'm really excited for that.
Rikku, we're gonna get you there, bro. I'm here for you every step of the way, bro.
As someone,
thank you, man. Thank you.
As someone who literally like did that struggle from like December of this year to September to like get to 1K. It definitely feels laborious, but I will say, at least for me, just because I never really do this for like any level of like notoriety or number, I always like look at all the numbers you never really hear people talk about. Like, don't really worry about your views, don't worry about your subscribers. The thing that always makes me the most excited is like how many like comments are going on. Like right now, like looking at my like Scramble one I have, it's almost at like 666 comments. And I'm like, that's awesome.
Nice.
Even if the comments are just people saying like, I waited all year for this, like that makes me like so happy. Like I don't care if I have as many subscribers as Gnarly or like even PewDiePie. Like I could have 5 subscribers, as long as like people are enjoying the stuff that I'm putting out there, man. It just makes it all worth it.
Just the interaction and all that. I understand that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Rikku, I appreciate interactions with everyone on Twitter, man. I mean, I know I'm not a big account yet, but I appreciate all the collaboration between everybody in the community. It's just a point of helping each other out and spreading our love for the series, man.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I'm getting ready to wrap things up, guys. What are your thoughts? Are you good? Are we good? Anything else you guys wanna add before we wrap things up?
It was a fun podcast.
SMT 5 2022.
Fuck off.
I would like
2021, please.
I'd like my final word to be like the actual final thing you say before the podcast ends. So just let me know when you're about to hit end stream, and then I'll say it. Okay.
All right, cool. Let me do one shameless plug to my Persona 5 Strikers giveaway. If you guys are interested, I have a giveaway for a copy of Strikers. So if you're interested, check that out. I have multiple links on Twitter. And I do want to shout out my guests today. So thank you all so much for coming, guys. You are amazing. I have Katana Rikku. I just dropped the link in chat for his channel since someone asked for it. Check him out. He's great. We have King Narukami, Twitter celebrity, YouTube channel.
I wouldn't go that far, bro.
But
I wouldn't go that far.
the real celebrity is Spencer, though, with his massive. I know that you hate it when I call you a celebrity, so I'm gonna do it once again. Celebrity, YouTube celebrity now, over 50K latest video. So awesome channel. No, honestly, best Megaton podcast on the platform. Check him out if you don't know him already. I highly recommend it. Thank you guys for coming on here.
I'm just glad you didn't call me a YouTuber. I'm very happy.
Content creator, not YouTuber.
Absolutely. YouTuber sounds like, the girl walking around with the phone and talking to a vlogger, I think you would call them.
Yeah, definitely.
Or you're getting knocked out by Nate Robinson.
Oh my God.
All right, so thank you all so much who stayed with us for almost 3 hours. It was great. Thank you, everyone. I really do appreciate it, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.
Hey, guys. Also, Last of Us 2 Game of the Year. Goodbye, everybody.
I'm gonna get this Christmas.
No!
Okay.
Spencer, no!
I guess now's the time.
No!
On a more positive note,
You did that on purpose, bro.
On a more positive note.
The only way to say goodbye.
On a more positive note.
Let your feelings out.
Bro, I will let my feelings out right now and have a 3-hour conversation about The Last of Us Part 2 and how it pales in comparison to the first game with you. So bring it on, bro.
I just finished the first one recently too.
I gotta get me a big glass of milk and tuck myself in. You guys, hey, David, thank you so much.
1:45.
Thank you so much for having me on Rikku again. It was nice meeting you. And hey, just boot it up, man. It's a fun game.
No, bro. I played it.
Learn to love Abby. I'm just saying. Learn to
No.
love
No, I don't have a problem with the character. It's what she did in the first fourth of the game that bothers me.